Salute everybody. Welcome to Switching Lanes with Miss Parker. Miss Parker. I hope y'all have enjoyed your day so far. Welcome everybody. Let me get my disclaimer, y'all. Show my disclaimers. Shit, I forget. I don't know. What everybody cooked today? What was on the menu today? What we got good? Miss Wish, what it do? Linda Ward, thank you for becoming a member, love. Thank you. Okay. Here we are. There we go. Sorry, guys. Just trying to set everything up. All right, guys. Thank you for becoming a member, Linda Ward. Thank you, Miss Wish. Thank you. Let me get my computer together. Thank you for becoming a member, Linda Ward. Thank you, Miss Wish, for coming through. Salute, sister. Rashina, thank you for coming through. Happy Sunday. Salute, sister. Miss T. Zeta. She said, everyone praying all is well. I've been catching a replay. Can't wait for this good content, Miss Parker. Chat. I'll be in the bushes listening. We have definite family. All praying for you, love. Hey, Jordan, thank you for coming through. Happy Sunday, sister. Hey, the Queen. Happy Sunday. Thank you for coming through. Hey, Gina. Hey, Olivia. Top Flight, my sister, my rider. What it do? Yeah, I can't get my computer screen. It's all messed up. Alicia, my sister, my rider. Thankful, Colton, my sister, my rider. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Juju, what it do, boo? Hey, I'm Miss Wife 11. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Detroit's finest. Salute, Francis. One love. She said greens, smoked turkey, black eyed peas, mac and cheese, baked chicken. That sounds good. Hey, Sunshine Shan, what it do, sister? Anna Clark, salute. Happy Sunday. Virtuous, what it do? Oh, you're welcome, Miss T. Thank you for the copyright disclaimer, Top Flight. Hey, Diamond. What it do, sister? Amber, what it do, sister? Hey, Kenya, sister, what it do? I love you, sis. Hope your day has been amazing as you are. Thank you, sister. Deborah, what it do? Virtuous. I think I said hey, but hey again. It is, as we know, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is a struggle, not just for me, but so many others. Hey, Tammy Cooper, salute, salute. Hey, Love Sing, salute. And a lot of people don't want to admit that they have mental health issues or that it's just not okay. You're not okay. And it's okay to say, I'm not okay. Hey, Shacey. Gina says she made meatloaf, mashed potatoes, pinto beans, broccoli, and cornbread. That sounds good. That sounds good, Gina. I really do. I made some navy beans the other day. So, yeah, that sounds real good, though. And I ain't make the cornbread. Hey, Carmen, salute. It's okay not to be okay. But how many people can say I'm not okay? Like today, even though I had my church service and stuff, it was just something about today that I'm just having one of those blah moments. It's just a really big blah moment. And it's that's one of my moods today. I'm his wife 11. Okay, I said, hey, you look nice. Thank you, Shay. I can. I'm not okay. Right. Hey, Pee Wee, salute. And today's just one of those days I'm just not okay. I don't know why. Hey, Tammy. But I'm just in one of those like, it's a draggy day for me. It was almost like, okay, come on live. Let's get this live over with. Just come on where my mood is. And I thought for a while I used to calculate it and time it and be like, my moods was worse in the fall than in the summertime, the spring and the summer. But for some reason, it's like my moods are starting to get worse. I cook curry chicken, rice, and cabbage, okay? I'm so glad we all have each other, okay? I definitely can when I'm not okay. I'm not sure, just don't want a lot of noise. I get it. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me, like, what's wrong with me today? Like, I done had church service, some church motivation. Just say motivation. I had a motivational live earlier, and I'm just blah. And I couldn't for the life figure it out. I experienced a lot not okay moments where nothing particular has happened, nothing bad, but within myself I'm unsettled. It's okay not to have a not okay moment. You have your riders. Thank you, Rashina. It was only when I turned 40 I actually didn't give a fuck about what people thought or said about my mental health diagnosis. Um, I told you, Miss Parker, in one of your previous slides, it's my mental since I lost my son. You did. Love said, I can, but sometimes I've tried to hide it. Why you try to hide it? I love you, China Boo. Love you. But why do you try to hide it, Love? Scene? Are you ashamed? You don't want anybody to know that there's something wrong. There's something wrong. My mood's been all over. It's from my lupus, but it's exhausting. Being sick, I get it. It has a lot to do with hormones too. Hello to all who's coming in the live stream. Hey, Alma, what it do, sister? Hey, Jamie, sister, what it do? Shay said, that's what me yesterday. That was me yesterday. My spirit is drained. That's why support is important. People play and judge people with mental illness. I agree. Hey, Drea. Just be what it do. Talk with Prince, sister. Yes, Alicia, hormones going crazy. Betty, what it do, sister? He said, Pee Wee said, just be cautious. Just be cautious. It feels to you will like get to don't mean things are not going well. Yeah, I get that, Pee Wee. Yeah, absolutely. Nisi said it could be premenopause. I get it bad after ovulation and before my period. But it could be, but how do we know it's mental health? How do we know it's bigger than menopause? I know for me because my brain works constantly. It doesn't stop. And I don't know, I never knew how to settle it. Like, how do I make my brain stop work? Like going, I think about tomorrow. I think about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Today. I got a few diagnoses and it took me a long time to figure out why I felt the way I did, but I don't mask it anymore. I'm not okay now, but I will be okay. Life doesn't always feel good. You're right, Pee Wee. I was so happy you were coming live, Miss Parker, because stress is making my entire body hurt. It's crazy, but yeah. And I've heard people say that. She said, I don't know, because I had ADHD and pride is making it worse for me. I took it upon myself years ago to start counseling at this place where I live, but all they wanted to do was dope me in medicine every time I went. It was a new script. That's why I don't go. The same thoughts don't go away. My head is constantly running. And it's okay. We are here for you. A lot of times I feel the way I feel because I think the way I think. Do you deal with me? Do you suffer from mental health though, Pee Wee? Hey, Michelle. Do you suffer from mental health, Pee Wee? I'm about to get my hormones checked, okay? I lived with mental health for 12 years. It was hard. At first, I went through many storms, but now I protect my peace and avoid triggers. She said meditation. That sounds both. That sounds bowls. Also good. What's the bowls? I'm still fighting with how I grew up and where I wasn't allowed to be, but I'm learning to take care of myself. Okay. I don't know if words are getting cut off, y'all. I don't know, but it's like every sentence that y'all write out, I'm like, what? I cannot make it out. Maybe it's you too. Depression and anxiety for me. Have you, Miss Parker, experienced that because you did drugs? People don't believe it could solely be because of something they don't know. Why do they say experience psychosis, LSD, medication? Mm-mm. It was before the drugs, really. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it was just natural how I thought, and just constantly like, well, everybody be like, you don't sleep, and that just be my brain just constantly going, and I can't sleep. So I used to think it was just like sometimes when I do the cases, it's worse. It's worse. because I can't sleep. My mood's all over the place. And here lately where I've been not going live at nights and doing all nighters and stuff, it's not as bad. My brain also races thoughts. I do a lot of overthinking as well. I was trained to meditate when my thoughts become overwhelming. I'm always worrying. I've always been that way. If I solve it, I look for something else to worry about. Me too. I could not fix myself to keep taking meds. They did not. They did not. They did blood work to even see if my body could handle what they're giving me, so I'm supposed to. And I started doing my own research to natural healing. I would do natural healing too, because I don't want. She said I smoke too much to worry, honestly, okay? Yeah, girl. I shouldn't have thought you was being funny and talking about me with this live. Before I found out I had ADHD, I drank a lot to calm my brain. I didn't realize I was depressed until years later. I go talk for years and come home and sit in the dark. That was me, Gina. Anxiety and depression for me too is my diagnosis. He said you have recent thoughts, anxiety. Yeah. Sound bowls and the bow sticks make sounds. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. The ADHD and trauma play a part, but therapy helps. Even my oldest sister won't be around because she will say she can't deal with me because I never stop. Is it that bad? Hey, Nisha. What it do, Juju? Trauma and triggers play a big part of mental health. First step is admitting and accepting it's okay not to be okay. Yeah, I had to start doing that. He said, "Are you aware that of the mental health and mental illness are two different things?" I am not, Pee Wee. I'm not. Anybody can come up. I had like a clip I wanted to share for mental health because this is Mental Health Awareness Month. See where my mood is just like, usually I be in a mood like, okay, I got this live set up. Let's do it. I'm ready. And my mood is just shot. I don't know. Hey, Tone, what it do? Happy Sunday. I have a therapist, but I don't like her much. Not you got a therapist. Hey Morgan, not you got a therapist and you don't like her much. Why not get another one? Hey Britt. Why stay with somebody you just don't like? Olivia. Cause I don't know. Therapy is just not for me anymore. Especially I'm like Kenya, trying to figure out with medicine and it's never nothing natural. It really isn't. So I stopped seeing my therapist. Plus, to me, this is my thoughts, and I'm not saying it's all therapists, but at the same time, I always feel like, are they going through what I'm going through? Because you can't teach mental health, or can you? Or do you have to go through it to know what I'm talking about? You can study the brain, but if the brain ain't in your head, do you understand it? You get what I'm saying? Because it's almost like it's not understandable. And this is why we're here, where we are. I pray for any of you ladies that are suffering from trauma or mental illness. Ms. Parker, did you ever get diagnosed with anything? Yeah. Bipolar disorder, ADHD, PTSD. And I don't take not one. I got like 12 medications. I got like 12 medicines, y'all. Y'all to see my prescription. I'm always overthinking. I don't sleep well. I have ADHD, anxiety, and depression. I get too much anxiety to switch. I can't. I don't see her often at all, but she's prescribed my meds. How many do y'all want? How many of us want Xanaxes and stuff to, you know what I'm saying? You'll stay because they're prescribing things that'll kind of get you high, other versus than making you okay. If you get what I'm saying. Unless the therapist went through them themselves. Otherwise, I feel like they're good listeners. She said, I need something for real. And that's true too. That's true, Tone, for most, you have to find the right one for you. What'd you say? You have to find the right one for you. Therapists are for everyone. I tried the mental health medication and it made me like a zombie, so I quit it. Best thing I did now. I'm going back to college to help others. Okay. Kenyatta said, everyone confessing, and here I am ashamed to admit I suffer from anxiety, depression in front of a bunch of strangers who can relate, shaking my head. Hey, Black, she said, I take Zoloft for my mental health, for anxiety and depression, insomnia. I started a year, and let me tell you, it helped me so much. Love you. Okay, Black, I got Zoloft too. I had Zoloft, and I ain't take it. It made me feel, I don't know. I don't like the medicine. I don't even like the cancer medicine. Um, Thank you, Carmen. Love you too, boo. Uh, hey, sister.
Hey, sister. How you doing today?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Hold on. Gina said I went through the things from just from my old job that almost sent me over the edge. One being seeing a nonverbal child with feces from his mouth to his feet because two adults weren't watching him. Oh my goodness. Yeah, therapy wasn't for me either. The lady just wanted to sit and talk about what she had going on. And I was like, am I the therapist? Because what's happening? Yeah, girl, I need the mood stabilizers, okay? Sorry if I missed anyone. I typed slow. I only take antidepressants and sleep medicine. I don't take anxiety meds. I used to be on Xanax, but I stopped taking them. I only used them when I couldn't calm down. I understand that, Drea. Medications are not for everyone. They're not for me. Hey, Famous G, what it do? Is it okay to call you Auntie? Yeah, you can call me Auntie. I used to take Xanax like 10 years ago. I can't do it. I was honest with them. I told them I'm not taking no more meds. Keep writing scripts. I sold everything. They gave me just being okay. What to do, Rosie Boo? Happy Sunday, Bookie. Okay, what to do, Top Flight? What to do, sister? Talk of Prince.
Yes.
Go ahead, sister. What's going on?
I just wanted to share my story with mental health issues and what led up to me actually having mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in 2010, my cousin he passed away, and I was with him when he passed away. And that was a very traumatic experience for me. And with me already having asthma, I was thinking that I was having an asthma attack. Because I was real shaky and out of breath and couldn't calm down.
Love you, Shay.
So I went on the next day, and the next day I woke up and I was still the same way. So my mother was like, "Well, I'm gonna take you to the emergency room." So when I got to the emergency room, they was like, "Well, she's having a panic attack," um, and they gave me the steps of what to do to be able to deal with panic attacks. At first, I was like, "Look, I'm not taking that medicine. That's for crazy people. I'm not going to take that. No, no." And I continued to have panic attacks at least once, twice a week, back to back, to where the EMS literally told me one night. He said, he called me by my last name. He said, "Your heart can do two things right now. It can slow down or it can stop because it can't beat any faster." Um, and it took my older sister to speak with me and tell me, "Hey, it's not gonna make you look any different in our eyes. But if you need the help to get through this pain that you're going through
Mm-hmm.
and the grief that you're going through, you made a first step because you reached out and got help." Which, with me, I'm a real. My family, they was mean. Okay, they was some mean. They would like, "Oh, she crazy," like they in the black society, when you reach out and you go to therapy and all this, people look at you sideways in your own family. It be mostly your family looking at you sideways, like, "Look, hey, what happened in this house that we won't talk about it? No, I need to go. No, no, I need to go talk about this because I feel like this, and I feel like I don't want to keep going without my cousin."
Mm-hmm.
And when I went out and got the help, and when it started therapy, I learned all the steps the 7 stages of grief. And those 7 stages of grief, you have to go through each stage. At first, I wanted to skip the different steps. I wanted to skip the acceptance part and just go straight to the healing part.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, I never healed. I let it all ball up until one night, my mother, she took me, she held me in her arms, and I was grown at this time. I was 18 years old at this time, and she took me and she held me in her arms, and she said, "Just let it out." She said, "You're fighting this fight that you can't win." She said, "I'm here with you." She said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You are safe. Don't let your mind tell you that you're not, because you are safe. You're not going to drop dead." Because I honestly had a phobia that I was going to drop dead because my cousin dropped dead in front of me. She said, "You're not." She said, "You're healthy. You're young. You're going to be just fine." And from that day forward, I went and continued to get the help. And 6 months to that day of my cousin's passing, my mother passed.
Mm-hmm.
And even in that grief, I took that night that my mother held me in her arms and told me that I was going to be okay, that I wasn't going to drop, you know, unalive at that point. I had to understand I have to go through this grieving process all over again. My mental was messed up all over again, but at that time, I knew the steps I had to take to get through it. Was it easy? No, it wasn't. People would
Mm-hmm.
ask me all the time, "How are you okay?" I said, "I'm okay with not being okay." One morning, I went, my brothers and sisters, I have two twin brothers and the older sister, the younger sister. And I was home alone with my twin brothers and my younger sister. And they was being kids running around the house. And I was looking like, "Look, please sit down." And I went, Miss Parker, I went to reach to call my mom. And I couldn't call her. And I broke down in front of my brothers and sisters. And my father walked through the door. And that man took me and put me in his arms. He said, "Just lean on me, baby." He said, "I have not left you and I will not leave y'all." And in that hurt and in that pain, I had family that supported me. Did they laugh at me? Yes, they did. In
Mm.
the beginning, I was a guinea pig. My doctor, my psychiatrist, I had a psychiatrist, I had a therapist, and a grief counselor. My psychiatrist, they kept giving me different types of medicine. I tell this is doing this to me. I don't want to take this. This is doing this is doing that. So it took almost 3.5 to 4 years for them to get the medication that worked best for me. And at first, I was not okay with taking medicine. But my older sister had to break that thing down for me. She said, "This is going to, this, it's not a, it might not be for everything, but right now it's helping you be able to sustain life. Now you have to live life without our mother. You have to live life without our cousin. All
Mm-hmm.
this happened in the same year. You have to know what it feels like to live life without them." I told her, "But I don't want to be numb." She said, "Don't be numb." She said, "Don't abuse it. Take it only as directed. Read the bottle. If it says take twice a day, take it only twice a day." She said, "But don't not take it. And then you have an attack. And then I'm standing trying to figure out why you having an attack." Because I was throwing the pills behind the couch, what she was giving. I won't take it. I won't
Oh,
go in the first sister. I won't go. I'll throw them behind the couch. Shoot. Like, but once I actually started taking it and going to therapy, and in therapy, everybody's story isn't going to be the same. And group therapy didn't work for me because some of the people's stories I couldn't relate to.
mm.
So I had to ask them if I could have my own just session, because their stories and my stories are two different stories. I was in a group session with mostly people who was like addicts and things like that. I don't know what it feels like to be an addict, so I couldn't relate to them. I felt like that was a disservice to me and kind of invading their privacy. I didn't need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like that To me, that didn't sit well with me. Like, I don't know their struggle. We not fighting the same things in this group. Like, it's so I went into a regular therapist just with me in therapy. And this therapist, I mean, no matter what time of night I would call this lady, she would come to my house. I called her one morning at 3:30 in the morning, and she came to my house
Mm-hmm.
just to tell me that you're okay. She said, "You're okay." She said, "Right now, you're just trying to you at the part of accepting it, and that hurts. Acceptance hurt because your mind now know that your mother or your cousin isn't somewhere in a hospital like they normally would be. That you can't reach out and touch them."
Mm-hmm.
So living with mental health is very it's something that you have to learn to live with, and don't allow it to control you. Know that you control it. It's a thing that you can control to a point. But to a point, it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm just not okay today." I mean,
Yeah. And that's good that your therapist came out like that, took that extra initiative and stuff. Cause that's big, cause you don't never know. Attacks come from everywhere, anxiety, all kind of stuff. So you really just don't know. You don't. What's up going on, Pee Wee? What it do?
What's going on? What's going on, Miss Parker? Salute to everybody in the chat. Blessings to everyone who's still here today for us for another day. And I was listening to you, and you know I love when you do this mental health stuff. And I know I ain't participated with you in a minute, so I had some phone like let me get my homegirl some love today. So and I heard, is this something that I work in this field. I work with mental health people and addictions. And I heard, who was that was just speaking? Top Flight? Who was just
Talk
talking
with
to you?
Prince. That's
Top
Talk with
Flight,
Prince.
right.
Not Top
Huh?
Flight, Talk with Prince.
Talking with Prince.
Yep.
Whoever it was that was just talking, I was listening to her too, right? Uh, and and it took me a while to figure this out too. I think I was today years old. But people get mental health and mental illness mixed up, right? Mental illness means that you have been diagnosed with something, uh, and it's, what I mean, like bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, depression. You asked me a question, have I ever been diagnosed? Yes, I have been diagnosed uh with these I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety. Uh but mine was self-inflicted because I was using drugs. That's when I was diagnosed, when I was using drugs. Have I ever been on mental health medications? Absolutely. Right? I was on mental health when I was on Lexapro and Wellbutrin before, right? And before getting to this into this field and understanding that sometimes mental illness can be self-inflicted from using drugs. Different mental health can be all. And I heard talking with the prince say this, that she couldn't relate to the people who were that was using drugs. A lot of times the drug is because that was self-inflicted, and then it could cause. Listen, using drugs can cause mental illness for long term or short term, depending on how long you use the drug and how what was going on prior to your mental illness, right? Mental illness can be caused by experiences in life, PTSD, uh, OCD, abuse, sexual abuse. That's without then these things ain't these mental health systems has been caused. I mean, diagnosis has been caused because of the experiences that you have experienced in life, right? These are the reasons that these mental, like you got PTSD. Like she said, I heard her when she soon as she said it, she was when she experienced her cousin passed or whatever, and then she started going. It came right out my mouth when she said it. I was like, oh, she was having panic attack because of the experience that she had with her cousin and watching her cousin die. It started causing her a mental illness to start to have panic attacks. You see, no drugs involved in that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, you don't have mental illness can also run in your family. It could be a generational disease that runs in your family. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't caused by drugs. It's just it runs in your family. Somebody along the line, somebody even with from substance abuse, what is it? Any other kind of mental illness. I just can't. I'm sitting right in front of my computer right now too. Like and that's mental. We talking about mental illnesses, things that cause mental illnesses. Now, and that's why I want to put you on this mental health. What is your mental health? Your mental health is how do you address your mental illness? How do you address your thoughts? How do you address your thinking? How do you address or how do you deal with certain instances in life? That is your mental health. Do you understand? You see what I'm saying now, Ms. Parker? Mental illness and mental health is two different things. Mental illness is what's caused. It's like the disease. That's what you have. You have depression. So what are you doing for your depression? So your mental health will be well.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, it's called cause and effect. That's what he's saying. It
Right,
is cause and
right.
effect.
And it's affected by different things. But mental illness is one entity. I mean, they work together, but mental illness is one entity, and then you have the mental health. But you can have a mental illness, but what are you doing about the mental health to address that mental illness? Or what are you doing with regular things in life to adjust to deal with mental health? Because mental health is serious. Mental illness is definitely real, especially in our black community. A lot of people don't want to go to therapy. A lot of people don't want to take it. We say this is where you got to participate in your own treatment in your own life. You got to tell a doctor, like, listen, because he only can go off what you tell him. He only want to recommend, all right, doc, this medicine ain't working for me. It make me feel drowsy. And a lot of people don't want to say this to the because you're a professional, sure, cool, that's nice. But I'm the one got to take the medication. I'm the one that's being affected by the medication. So I need to tell you how it make me feel so you can give me something that even make me feel better or something that I could be able to work with or get over with so it can get in your system. A lot of times, what I need to also tell you is that when you first start taking medications, when it's not in your system, you got to give it at least 30 days so it can get in your system because it'll feel different and it start operating with your system after a certain amount of time. You can't just take it for one day and think it's going to be instant. It's going to happen just like that. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? You
Right.
think you won't, it's not, they used to call it the pills, the happy pills and all that shit. And also, Miss Clark, Xanax, I mean, what the fuck is Xanax? Yeah, Xanax, Prozac, certain medications that we know of are not the only medications that's for mental health. A lot of people don't know these medications because they don't want to research, but you want to get better, but you don't want to address what you need to address as a person. You know what I mean? The medications, you don't want to ask questions, because you think they supposed to know. No, you can ask some questions. Questions are made to be answered. You know what I mean? Ask some questions. Ask them is there any way and speak on your behalf because it's you that's gotta be that gotta address you. So you got
Yeah.
people gotta talk about this thing. You know what I mean? So when I was listening to you, I was trying to give you a mental health. I look because on my computer I got this called it's called a mental health checklist, right? Not mental health, not mental illness, because you can have a mental illness and still be in good mental health. Do you understand that, Miss Parker?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You can have
Yeah.
mental illness but still be in good mental health. Mental health is like physical health. What are you doing to exercise to make sure that you to get past the just because listen, just because I don't feel like being at work today. Today is the weekend. A lot of y'all heard me say I don't work on the weekend, but I'm here. Just because I ain't feel like it, but I'm here. I was called thing. Okay, I'm here. I don't like it, no, but I deal with it because my mental health is. I'm okay. I can deal with my mental health. I can still come here and still do. I'm good with it. But I want to give you this. I want to give you this mental health checklist. And it's just I don't care if you got mental illness, what mental illness you got, or whatever the case you may. But these is just check-ins. These are self check-ins with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I got out the bed and took a deep breath and in and out. This what you do. This is what people do with a lot of people with mental health. This the checklist that we give them. Just get don't everybody just want to jump up and start. They know. Sometimes you just gotta take a deep breath in and out. Right. I did some. I did something to support my body. Sleep, eat, exercise. This all got to do with your mental health. I did something to support my body. I slept. I ate. I exercised. Number three, I took I took breaks when I needed them to do something I enjoy. Take breaks for yourself. This is about your mental health. Not always doing something for somebody else, doing something that you enjoy, that you like to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number four, I practiced self-compassion and gave myself some grace. A lot of people don't get that self-grace. They all listen, it's easy to beat myself with a bat when I did something wrong or I did something that I didn't like, but it's hard to give myself a grace and say, guess what? And you heard me say this before. I'm a human. I'm gonna make mistakes. I ain't perfect. Have some
Mm-hmm.
grace for yourself. Guess what? Be nice to you. How about being instead of being nice to everybody else, Miss Parker, just be nice to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody in the chat, just be nice to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so critical that other people it's enough we live in a life where other people will be critical. So why would I be critical on myself?
Right.
Right? Have some compassion for yourself. I think it's the fifth one. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, I had some compassion for you. I shift my thoughts to when I can control and can do various and can do visions of myself. All right, shifting your thoughts. What can you do to shift your thoughts? I shift my thoughts to when I can to what I can no, excuse me. I shift my thoughts to what I can control and can do virtually what I can do. No, I'm hold on, I don't got my glasses. They say I shift my thoughts to what I can control and can do, what not what I can't. That's it. Not what I can't. Meaning, if it's out of your control, listen. And that's a lot of things I see people break down or lose it. You some things is just not in your control. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not. You can't control it. You can't control. Listen, let me. And I'm about to hurt somebody feeling. Some people ain't gonna like this and they ain't gonna agree with it. But you, only person you can control, and the only thing you can control is who, Miss Parker? Yourself.
Myself.
You can't control, listen, even our relationships. I can't control Kiana. You can't control Shank. Whoever in a relationship, you can't control your significant other. Only person you can control is you. And sometimes controlling you is the hard part because you want to react a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
Or and even just like stuff on your job. You want them to, they should, well, you think the way that they doing it is dumb as hell. If they do it your way, but listen, that's out your control. You ain't the CEO. You ain't that. So listen, so shift your mind to what you can control. When I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do this laundry, how about that? Or I can go out and take myself out to get something to eat, or I might grab a lemon pie, anything, but that stuff that's in your control, not out of your control. A lot of people with mental health will go have constantly trying to try. Have you and y'all heard you say, Mr. Parker, you had racing thoughts because I heard I spotted that in the chat too, racing thoughts. Why are
Yes.
you raising? Why are you having thoughts about stuff that you can't control and you keep trying to figure it out? And at the end of it, then when it's all said and done, you just realize you just give up and say, "Damn, I couldn't control it anyway." It's out of your
Right.
control. Virtually do what you can do for things that's in your control. All right, this other one. I connected with someone for your mental health. You could connect with somebody, from your kids to your friend, somebody that's not going to stress you out. To take your mind. Listen, that occupies your mind. Talking to somebody else, even just what we doing now. Me just giving you this information. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody else. Acknowledge small wins or gratitudes. Just acknowledge them. It's not acknowledge when Miss Parker won, even if it's a small one. Yeah, I made it through that. People don't know how to pat themselves on the back sometimes. You understand what I'm saying, Miss Parker? This got to do with mental wellness. This ain't got nothing to do because you can have, like I said, mental illness will cause a lot of things that you don't even know that you're not acknowledging. Like just having small wins, acknowledge the small wins. Be grateful, have or just be grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude for what's going on. It's to enhance your spirit. It makes your it allows your mind to grow, allows you to be more thankful. And a lot of times, that's what keep me. I'm grateful because where I was, and where I'm at is a whole different place, right? And another one is ask for help when it's needed. Boom. Why everybody want to be so stubborn and think they can do everything on their own? Especially, I know women do. They think they can figure this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men, pride, don't want to ask for help, right? But this got to do with your mental health. So you need some help. You're in a struggle. You're trying to figure out something that you can't figure out. How does that work?
Right.
How do it work though, Miss Parker? I can't figure it out. I try. Listen, a lot. It's like scientists. They try to get this in. You know how long scientists takes for years to solve some things, and then and not even small things like we talking about in our lives, but we talking about like big things, like the answer for cancer. They got one for that. You know what I mean? So you dealing with something on life terms, and you wanted to change, and you wanted to go another way, right? But it's not. It's not possible for it to go that way. But you're trying to figure it out.
Right.
Guess what? You don't have all the answers, and neither do I. So if I need some answers to some stuff, like if I need some answers to Miss Parker, how do I start my own YouTube channel? I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not going to struggle. I'm going to come to Miss Parker and just going to tell me because she done it. Guess what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing? I'm asking for help. A lot of people don't want to ask for help. A lot of people sometimes you think you got to know somebody to ask for some help. No, you ain't got to know them because you know who'll help you more. A stranger will help you before a person that you actually know will help. I don't know if
Every
you ever
time.
experienced that.
That's the truth.
Right. Look, listen. And I heard you say this, Miss Parker, because I paid this. I get paid to listen. You say I try to figure out stuff from yesterday or tomorrow or the future. Take one moment, one day at a time. Because you know when. I'm gonna tell you. And this is, and then you can ask any therapist this. If I'm worrying about things from yesterday, I'm depressed about them. It causes depression because I can't change it. If I'm worrying about things in the future, it's called what? Anxiety. We talking about mental illness and mental health here. So if I already got it, I'm already suffering from it, and I'm thinking about how to fix things from my past, which we know we can't fix that. And I'm worrying about things from my past, or I'm worrying about things in my future. I'm causing my own mental illness. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And then we wonder why people lose their minds but listen, you was thinking about you was worrying about, and I know everybody heard this in their town. I don't care where you from. You worried about the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? But I just had to, you know what I mean? I just wanted to, you know what I mean, give you this checklist. It's called a mental health checklist, right? Give you this checklist, and people just, you know what I mean? I help somebody. Uh, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, Miss Parker. I always got something to give you when it's coming to this, especially when and I'm listening to what you're saying, and I just want to help everybody because I have been diagnosed, like I said before, but I am a recovering addict, and but a lot of people don't know recovering addiction has now been labeled as a mental illness because addiction can spark up, come back, and I don't take no medication at this present time now for living life on life terms. Dealing with I said when I was hold on when they told me I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, it was because it was self inflicted because I was using drugs. You know, using drugs. I had a lack of confidence. I had no belief in self. All this was caused by my mental condition at that time. Being as though it's been a while now that I haven't used drugs, I have learned how to live life on life terms, deal with my own feelings, thoughts, and emotions. But I have been diagnosed clinically with a mental illness. And if you suffer from substance abuse or have been died or had treatment for substance abuse, now I don't know if y'all aware, but substance abuse also falls under mental illness now. So, but You know what I mean? We just got different ways to deal with that mental illness than people with actually mental illnesses. Uh, Mental health is just something that you guys to do to
And to
deal
the
with
people
your
that,
mental health. Go ahead. I
what
hear
would
you,
you
Miss
say to the
Parker.
people that like me that don't want to take meds?
It's healthy. Once again, this checklist. Once again, it's healthy ways uh to deal with your mental illness. That don't you don't have. I'm not. Listen, I don't promote meds. I'm with you on that. I don't promote meds. I promote mental wellness, meaning whatever you got to do for your own mental wellness, even if it's take meds for a short period of time or to get out of the space that you're in. Okay, I promote that. I don't promote meds for long-term use. It's like I said, like you and you mentioned it. Listen, controlling my thoughts. Sometimes just sit down and breathe. That's what this checklist for. It don't say nothing about taking medication on that. It's saying about monitor your thoughts. Think about what you think about. You understand what I'm saying? How about just breathe, sit still, and don't do nothing? That's hard for a person with ADHD to do. That's hard for a person with OCD to do. But how about just sit down, relax, and tell yourself it's all right. It's all right not to be active. It's all right to relax. Just take a walk. You know what I mean? Sometimes, and this would be stuff that people think that don't work out, but I look just like taking a walk. I ain't going nowhere. Okay, but it's better than sitting there with them crazy thoughts. How about exercising? All this builds up your mental health. You know, your mind, your body, and your spirit is one. So if you think about the things that you can do, and I'm not just talking about medication, from exercises, the way you eat, and me and Shank was just talking about this the other day. The way you eat, the way it make you feel like I stopped smoking, Miss Parker. I don't smoke cigarettes no more.
Okay.
You understand? You feel what I'm saying? The reason why, and the reason why, because I was at my other job. I was climbing 3 flights of steps, and I got to the top, and it felt like I was dying. So I listen, but just by me being stopped smoking, my blood pressure came down. Right, I got more energy. I don't need as much sleep. I don't got to sleep 6 or 7. I ain't got to sleep 8 to 10 hours no more. I sleep from 4 to 6 hours. You feel me?
Mhm.
You just from stopping that, but you know what I mean. But my mental health used to tell me, nigga, you can just lay in bed and don't do nothing. You know what I mean? But now it's just like because I stopped smoking, my energy level different. You understand what I'm saying? My thoughts. I ain't worried about. Oh, I got 3 cigarettes left. I gotta go get a pack of cigarettes. Uh, I ain't got to worry about always having 12 to 15 hours to get a pack of cigarettes. I'm talking about the difference of the change. But even though I got it, you feel me? I don't gotta worry about it now,
Right.
or how I'm or manage how I'm gonna between gas money, cigarettes, and I'm talking about the things that it took away from me. And the thing, a lot of times when it comes to doing certain stuff, people worry about what they're giving up instead of worrying about what they're gaining. You know what I
Mm.
mean? They're worrying about what they're giving up instead of worrying about what they're gaining. Yeah, you're giving up something, but what are you going to gain by giving that up?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm not just saying medication. It's the vitamins you take, to the supplements, to all that got to do with your mental health. Because if you understand, like when you're tired and you drain and you don't want to do anything, is that just happening? Is that just happening, or is it? No, it's not just happening. It's something that you put in your body or whatever. Or even from the part when we eat too much and we get what we call the itis. We get the itis.
Mm.
Why? Why? That's because you done did something in your body that affect your mind and tell your body say, all right, I ain't with it. So your mind saying, I ain't with that shit neither. You
Mm.
feel what I'm saying? A lot
Right.
and people don't you feel me? So but all of this got all this thing stuff work hand in hand, right? All that your mind, all that stuff. So I was just giving you the checklist. I send you the checklist though.
What about
And you know what I mean?
what
Go
about
ahead.
people that say about journaling? I got a subscriber, Passion B said, what about journaling? And Tone said he writes his thoughts down, good or bad. You know,
Right.
he journals all the time. How do you feel about that?
Journaling is actually it's a plus. Let me tell you what journaling does. Journaling allows you to see the struggle, the growth, in the development. Because listen, you can go back and read it, right? Because actually now you had something tangible. It was a bad day that day, but guess what? You go 2 page over. That was a great day. You understand what I'm saying? Or oh, yeah, I struggled. I made it through that series when my aunt. When my aunt, hopefully not saying this, but like when my aunt passed, I made it through that. When my cousin went through her surgery, I made it through that because all this is going to go into your journaling. So journaling is a great thing. Also, affirmations is a great thing. So how about looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, "I love you." You know what I mean? I care for you. Affirmations are I'm gonna be nice to Miss Parker. Good. I'm gonna be nice today. I ain't gonna cuss nobody out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times these affirmations comes because a lot of times the people go through the things that they go through because it's the stuff. It's not what nobody else said to you. It's not what you believe. It's nobody else said. It's the stuff that you believe and that you tell yourself about you. If you tell yourself, "Oh, you're gonna always be an effed up person. You're gonna always be a low down ball, whatever the case person," that's what you're going to portray because that's what you're telling yourself. Oh, you guess what? Guess who planting that mental seed in your head? You are.
Mm-hmm.
The seeds that everybody else planted, you can reject them. You can get them out there because guess what? Your actions can make you a better person. But yeah, journaling is a wonderful thing. I would recommend, and I'd recommend somebody because I don't journal. I used to journal all the time, but you know what I mean. I don't. When I get the time, I want to go to sleep now because I work a lot. But yeah, I used to journal. I probably still kind of got about what's the black and white books, what they call. I probably got like five of them, like 5 or 6 of them full of nothing but journals. A stack number when I used to write on. That's why I see my growth. That's one thing that keeps me grateful and have some gratitude for myself because I can see where I come from nothing to something. And
Olivia said I'm a negative self-talker.
oh, so so she says, so okay, I get that. She's so she don't have optimistic. She's not optimistic. She's she look at the bad side of everything. So okay, what is it? Why does she tell herself negative stuff? She always looking at the negative. Where's the hope at in that? Or does she have any hope in her life? Where's the betterment in that? Why what does she tell herself? What is she telling herself? I mean I know she can hear me, but what are you telling yourself and why? And you this is the thing about this, you identifying it. You're saying you're a negative self-talker. So if everything that you're telling yourself negative, when you gonna stop doing that? When you gonna stop telling yourself that? Instead of listen, a lot, and once you hear me say that, and some people on your podcast hear me say this too, Miss Parker, you feel the way, and I said that in the Muslim, I feel the way I feel because I think the way I think.
Mm-hmm.
You,
Mm-hmm.
how many people have convinced themselves that there's something that they're not?
I have.
You feel me? How many times have you told yourself that you know what I mean? This like negatively, or that you don't nobody love you? How many times? And we know we got kids, we got family, we got companions. They love us, but how many times did you tell yourself that don't nobody love you?
Yeah, a lot.
You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, how many? And a lot of people do this as human beings in our community, and just self projection. How I'm going to tell Miss Parker how I'm going to project my thoughts on Miss Parker and think Miss Parker's supposed to respond to my thoughts. They're my thoughts. They're not Miss Parker thoughts. I don't know how Miss Parker um anybody's going to act until I approach them. But in my head, I already have an outcome that I already drawn to, and I ain't even got to you yet. Self project. That's called projection. Projecting your thoughts on somebody else.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, for a system with the negative thoughts, it's what you tell yourself. So a lot of times I can think my way into a situation that I can't get myself out of just because the way you thought, or you have a think that maybe that's what I had a different thought. If I had a different thought, it would have came out different. You understand? So yeah, but the mental illness thing, uh, I matter of fact, next time when you do it next, you do it on Sundays, I think. So next time you have, because I got a lot of stuff for mental illness.
Check this one out, Pee Wee. She said, my fiance is the same way, a negative self-talker. He's bipolar and has an institutionalized mindset. Most of his younger adult life he grew up incarcerated.
Okay, so did she say he institutionalized?
She said he was institutionalized most of his younger life.
Okay, so all right, so he need to change the he need and being bipolar. Okay, is he how is he treating that? First of all, uh, uh, he need to some people need to address even because I'm quite sure he got some PTSD from he been looking at this since he was a teenager or young. He been looking at for far as he concerned. This is the way life goes. He don't see it changing it because he's been caught in it for so long. You understand? When he been caught in them thoughts, he got to get out of them thoughts, and it's not easy to do. You know what I mean? Some people he got to work at it. I'm glad to see that he's home now, but some people become institutionalized to the point where as though they don't see. And I always use this to example when I talk to people in that condition and that with that mindset and that you ever remember Shawshank, what is it called? Shawshank condition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what y'all know what I'm saying. Shawshank. Remember when the old man came home and he couldn't deal with society and he hung himself?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's mental illness because he was in the jail for so long he couldn't see him living out in the free world. Now, then when you get to the free world, you can't handle it, or you look at everything negative, or you think everything will be the outcome of what it was in jail, and it's not,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the way you see it. You know what I mean? If he got, I mean, the bipolar is something that he had to deal with. Uh, he had to either take some medication or learn how to live with it. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, what we believe to be true is not true. Um, and it just starts off in your mind. And you know what I mean? He can't. He gotta. That's something that you gotta work at. Not become. You got to you got to uninstitutionalize yourself, and you got to believe that you can do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a therapist, y'all. I'm just let me tell y'all this, because I don't want to pump my credentials. I work with mental illness. I'm in it. I'm a certified peer specialist. I'm a certified peer recovery specialist. So I've been certified to work with these people, but I don't give no medication out. I ain't diagnosing nobody, whatever. But I've been toward the ins and out of mental health and substance abuse. So you know what I mean, I don't have all the answers, but if I can come up with a good solution, I hope I can help somebody.
Love Scene said, I call myself a cheerleader, but it's hard to cheer for me.
Huh? Well,
She
why
said she said she
she
calls
call
herself
herself?
she's a cheerleader for everybody else, but she's not a cheerleader for herself.
So why is she so hard on herself?
Thank
She
you.
if she can see if she can reckon that's the beautiful thing. If you can recognize everybody else's accomplishments and be happy for them, why you can't do it for yourself?
I do that too, Pee Wee. I'm bad at that.
Right.
I am.
What's that, Miss Parker? What you can cheer for everybody else except for cheer for yourself?
Yep.
And once again, that's what we talking about with this mental health checklist. When have you wrote something down that the little wins that Miss Parker won? When did you acknowledge yourself? When do you say, "Oh yeah," or you know how you do, Miss Parker? You know when you put on this and this example I gotta use. You know how you put on an outfit and you know got your hair done, your nails done, and you stay and as soon as you finish and all that, you step in front of that mirror and you be like, "Oh yeah." that you look good. You
Hmm.
feel me? You can acknowledge the outside, but what can you acknowledge that? Listen, you can acknowledge what people can see, what you can see, but when can you not acknowledge what people can see or recognize that you can recognize yourself that you did for yourself? Can you pat? Listen, it's easy to pat somebody else on the back, but can you pat yourself on the back? Can you be happy for you? Yeah, it's easy to listen. It's all that's the same way, and it's crazy like how life be going. But it's easy to cheer for somebody else, but can you cheer for? Come on, Miss Parker. And I know even with the addiction and all that stuff that I this a lot of times I cheer for myself and for the accomplishment that because I have to acknowledge that I was the one, I was the write off. They wrote me off, and now listen, I'm probably living better than a lot of those who wrote me off. You understand what I'm saying? So cheer for yourself. Yeah. Listen, you take listen, do you acknowledge that your kids call you? That you talk to your kids on? This is stuff that a lot of people don't acknowledge and they say, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. No, you ain't supposed to do because some people ain't doing it. A lot of people don't even know where their kids at or even talk to their kids. You understand? Listen, you've been able to sustain a relationship with yourself and with somebody else for a period of time. God damn, you better pat yourself on the back. You live with Shank Rock. You feel what I'm saying? Shank Rock live with you. Y'all have learned to coexist. You feel me? How about having a listen, it's the small stuff that count. Having like somewhere that you can you ain't I see your lights on in the background. Uh, uh, I see. You can get out and go get in the car and drive off if you want to. I seen you with the switching, in the switching lanes video with the Nike bag. So that means you've been to a Nike store or something lately. I'm talking about just the stuff that you gotta acknowledge for yourself, because a lot of people we take for granted what I can do that a lot of people can't do. So you can cheer, oh yeah, you can cheer for the oh yeah, yeah, good for them. But how about cheering for Miss Parker, cheering for Pee Wee, cheering for the sister who made this ask that statement? Because guess what? I deserve to be celebrated too, and ain't can nobody celebrate me better than I can celebrate myself.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, Miss Parker. Yeah.
Nene
I'm
said.
gonna.
Nene said, "I've been hard on me due to my childhood trauma, lack of family support, to where I feel I can do everything on my own."
Oh, excuse me. What you say her name was? Because that just stopped me. Because
Nene,
I'm about.
she said, "I've been hard on me due to my childhood trauma, lack of
Mm-hmm.
family support, to where I feel like I can do everything on my own."
What's
Nene,
her name though, Miss Parker?
Nene,
Nene. I had childhood trauma from the age of 3 months old because my mother left me in the hospital. Right. I've been through foster care system in Baltimore City. Foster care from here from one place to I'm sharing this with you for a reason. From one house to another house to my foster family house, who was I went back to my biological mother when I was 7 years old. She abused me. She beat me with a extension cord off an air conditioner. I'm talking about this childhood because I was only 6 or 7 years old when I used to have to walk up and down the steps with cinder blocks in my hand from my youngest brother's father, because that was his way of punishment. And then if we dropped the brick, we get beat with an extension cord off an air conditioner. I don't know if y'all thought, but childhood trauma. Um, I don't live there no more. I survived it, right? We're still here to talk about it. Meaning, we don't got to live there no more. So why are we still mentally living somewhere that that's no longer present? I stay in the present. Yeah, did it happen? Sure. Right? Was it childhood trauma? Yes. But I don't live with the trauma. I live in the day. I live with the trauma, but I don't live in it. It's the difference. I can live with it, but I can't continue to live in it. Get out the trauma. Address it. Um,
she also
thank
said,
you for.
She also said, I like helping others before I help myself. And then when I'm in need, I brush away people that want to help me.
Because that's what you'd have developed for yourself. I tell my like, listen, if we was just meant to do everything on our own, we wouldn't be all put on the same planet. So help is definitely being humble enough and having the humility to ask for some help when you need it is definitely a beautiful thing. And evidently, you must be good at taking care of yourself because guess what? You do it. But some things that I can't take care of, I need to ask for some help or ask for some assistance. A lot of people don't know how to do these things because nobody is super person. A lot of help that I got came from me asking some other people for help or asking for some assistance, asking just for information. You know what I mean? So Nene, I'm gonna tell you, stop living. We can live with the trauma, but we don't have to live in it. Childhood trauma. We at adult. I'm thinking at this age, you said childhood, so that means you're an adult. So I can live as an adult, not in my childhood trauma. Stop living there. All right, we know it happened, but I don't have to live there. When I say live there, I mean I'm always reliving mentally and emotionally in that time that happened. I keep reliving this. If I see something, a lot of times they call triggers. If I see something that might trigger me or whatever the case may be, okay, cool. Set that, feel that, let that happen. Because guess what? I lived through that, but I don't have to live in it. I don't have to. All my thoughts don't have to dictate or don't trust nobody because that what happened to me as a child. You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that's a part of my story. I've been through this. My childhood was traumatic. I don't live there. I know it happened. And guess what? A lot of times we experience things and and this is what I believe I experienced to be able to tell his stories because my experience wasn't for me, it was for somebody else. It was to help somebody else. I love helping people. You know what I mean? That's why I work in the field I want to. And I sometimes you see some of the conditions of the people that I had to talk to or whatever the case may be. Whereas though I got to tell myself, thank God, you know what I mean, that I had this experience. But yeah, so
Hey,
Nene, we got this.
hey, love
I'm
scene.
listening. Oh, but yeah,
Love scene. You up here?
I'm up here. I was trying to tell my daughter to be quiet, so because she ran around the house. But I'm feeling what Pee Wee's saying, and I get it. It's first of all, before I even get started, thank you, Miss Parker, because this is something that for real is a serious thing for a lot of people, and we don't really have anybody to talk to about, when we really going through it. And and to be honest, like I was saying, sometimes I try to hide it because there's times where I've been honest, and because I've been honest, people have used that as a weapon against me, which I had to learn you can't share everything with everybody. So then I go into a shell and start trying to protect myself from other people. So it just, it's just a balancing act. And I identify with a lot of people in the chat. Like I told you before when I came up, my childhood trauma. And being the oldest, I took care of my family. That's what I know. I know how to take care of people. So I was a CNA for 20 some years because I know how to take care of people. But I don't know all the time how to take care of me, you know. And that's the fight that I have right now, that I'm trying to take care of me. See me as the person that like I see other people. Because just like you, I'm going to give you an example of who I am. I see you doing this platform. I could tell you all kind of stuff you need to be doing that probably gonna help you. Da 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 da. Now I got my own thoughts and my own creativity in my own mind, but I go harder for you with your thoughts and your creativity and try to help you fulfill yours before I do mine, and that is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So that's what I meant by the cheerleader. I knew you got it, but I
Hmm.
just want to explain it more. And I think it's because of being taught that way when I was young. I had to take care of my brothers and sisters no matter what. And I really didn't think about it until I was an adult that I didn't really have a childhood. So, I wasn't taught how to really think about my abilities in a way that they're good and that I can really do the things that I want to do in life. My thoughts was make sure everybody else is okay, and then whatever's left is what I get. So I'm still working on that because I didn't learn how to do that as a child, if that makes sense. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to kind of share that because I can't type like that. I'm not a texter or nothing like that because, like I said, my mind be moving fast. I'm trying to read and respond, but I can't text and type like that. So I just thought
Yeah.
I'd come up. So I don't know if it made sense, but I wanted to really just share that for whoever. Um, and like I said, that's why I named myself Love Seeing Her because I feel like those people who have been through trauma, a lot of times we are misunderstood because we love hard, we give a lot, and people take advantage of that. So you still go through traumas in your adulthood because of, opening yourself up too much. So I've had to
Can I
scale all that back
can
and think more.
can can I give you something and let me give you this, sister, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's why I work where I work at because I like helping people, and I know about how you feel as though you got to protect yourself, right, and all that, right. Here was my solution to that, and this is what I do. I gotta remember, in order to take care of someone else, I have to be able to take care of me, right? So I heard you say this, you love taking care. So evidently, you know how to take care of you. Just do it.
And Pee Wee for real, Mr. Pee Wee,
Hmm.
I want to call for real. Just being honest,
Hmm.
and we might even be the same age. I don't know, but just being honest. So you know what? I'm just gonna tell you this little bitty story. Like
Hmm.
my mom had so much control over my life that one time my husband was like, you grown, right? I'm in my 30s or 40s because
Hmm.
how she raised me. So to be honest, it's so simple, but when you have been trained and conditioned to think a certain way, that is the fight of my life. I had a fight just to understand that this is really my choice. Whatever I do is really my choice. I don't need to call and ask
For
for
permission,
validation, but I
right?
was doing it my whole life. And so it's like now I feel like I'm a little kid learning all these things about myself. And I'm about to be 52 next week. I don't care. I'm about to
Well,
be.
yeah. Don't call me Mister no more, man. I'm only 51.
See, that's why I'm saying I feel like
But
but
no,
like
I
for
understand.
that, it's
Hmm.
that's why these stories about children and what they go through, it carries through the rest of your life and it's painful. And then if you don't have the permission to learn how to navigate your life from that point, it's difficult,
Hmm.
you know, because everybody ain't gonna be like this platform is great. This is wonderful. We all in here sharing and giving advice or whatever. But the real world a lot of times ain't this nice. They expect, okay, you about to be 52. What's wrong with you? You acting like a child. You should have been over that. So then I go in my corner like, okay, well maybe I shouldn't say that or maybe I shouldn't do that. So it's just a balancing act that I'm trying to learn right now, to be honest. If that makes
Okay, and I dig that. And for the people who says that to you, that's like they say, opinions is like assholes. Everybody got one. That's your
Mm.
opinion. Okay, you can't listen. What your opinion is, which is none of my business. Only thing I can navigate is what I know how to navigate and how I know how to navigate at this time. And a lot of and that's and I've seen in this field, and I'm working with mental health and living in the society that we live in. Right, we're always looking for somebody else's approval. But what about my own approval for me? I can make decisions for myself. Listen, I'm about to be 52 years old. I can make decisions. And the thing about it is, I understand from us experiencing stuff as a child, that then we carried it, a lot of times we carried it on into our adulthood. That's when we have to realize that it's different stages of maturity, growth, and development. So I got to grow and develop from this because I am this now. I'm no longer a teenager or a child. So why am I still living? When I say living, I'm talking about emotionally and mentally in a space that I'm no longer at. Moms, listen, I respect moms, I respect dad, I respect aunties and uncles. But guess what? At the end of the day, when I make a decision, I have to live with that decision. Not none of them have to. And if I'm all right with my decision, I'm sorry who's not.
Yeah, and that's a
You
lesson. I'm
right.
learning. I'm learning.
you, you
I'm
feel
learning.
me? If, I,
And
I'm, if, I, if
I
I'm
got
okay with
to.
my decision, I'm sorry who's not okay with it.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So yeah, but and I understand that a lot of people they want to be. You know, how when you was younger, you wanted to be grown, and now that you're grown, you want to be a child again because of
That's
the
it. That's
response.
what I was just about to say. Because I felt like as a child, I was an adult. Because I was doing adult stuff.
hmm
I'm taking
But
care of my siblings. Like I'm be like this was so crazy to me. I told my daughter this one day. She was like, "For real, Mama, I used to keep my brothers and sisters in the summertime. I'm 9 years old. I'm letting them go outside and I'm watching stories. But I'm 9. I never went
hmm
outside to play. I didn't never do any of those type of things. But it really hit me when I had my own child and she want to play. And
hmm
honestly, that ain't my mindset. I'm very serious all the time. Always been serious. Always
hmm
business. That's all my mindset was. But now as she's getting older, I'm starting to see that, I might need to grow up some in another area of my life that I didn't even realize I was missing because I'm so used to just doing, doing, doing. And I moved away 7 years ago from my hometown. And it really,
hmm
I went through a deep depression for like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. We've been here 7.
hmm
Everything kind of just quieting down and I was with my thoughts. See, before I was running all the time, I was busy, I was helping people, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm moving this little small town where all of that is not going on and nobody's here asking me to do things. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, this is crazy. Once I take care of my husband, my child, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm not,
Okay. you
I
got,
realized I
I
used to,
get what you're saying, but this
yeah,
because you acknowledging this, you made an adult decision when you said I do, because I heard you say you got a husband. You
yeah,
made
we've
a
been,
so
yeah, yeah.
you
Poor,
made
the
an adult
poor guy,
decision.
the poor guy.
you made an adult decision when you decided to have a child. So you know how to make adult decisions and don't care who don't like them. You just got to get used to liking them. You got to get used to doing them. And a lot of times, because I do my job that I do now because it gives me a sense of myself. It gives me a sense of happiness. It don't feel like work. I do, you know what I mean? Because it gives me a sense of belonging or whatever the case may be. That is what you was become used to. So but you don't even realize you're still doing it because you got a husband and a child. Because I'm quite sure you cook, you wash clothes. I'm not saying that that's just a woman thing, so I don't want nobody to get that confused. Not saying that's just because I wash my clothes and I cook too in my household and I got a whole girlfriend. But but I'm just saying that's taking care of them. So you telling me that you don't know how to take care of yourself, well, you feel and you got to ask for no, you don't though. You good.
Yeah, I'm
You,
learning. I'm saying this is what I'm saying. This is the progression. So now I'm at a point where my circle is small. My circle is
okay.
small. Even like on YouTube, I had to unsubscribe to a lot of people because
Mm-hmm.
I was starting to think about it like, okay, if it ain't lining up, I need to let go. Friends, if they not lining up, I need to let go. Cause I used to be that friend that I'm gonna be a friend regardless, whatever, I'm gonna be there for you, whatever. But then I had to learn that that's not helping me in my journey. And we on, sometimes you're on two different pages. That's what it is. And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lonely place though. It got lonely for a minute.
Miss Love, can I step in real quick?
Yeah.
I was sat here and
Hold on,
I
sister.
listened to you.
Hold on, sister, real quick. Juanita, when I dropped this StreamYard link, it's by my name and it says StreamYard. You welcome to hit it. Anybody's welcome to hit the link. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
Um, Shout out to you. And I sat here and I listened to your story. And, what I took from it is you give so much to everybody and no one is giving back to you. So it's like your vessel, your spirit is empty. But what you have to do as a strong black woman, I want you to do this every day. I want you to wake up and tell yourself, I am more than enough. I am more than enough. Because what your trauma has done has beat you down to where it's making you feel like you're not enough. But you are more than enough.
See, this is why. This is why I'm here. But I'm about to go because I'm about to cry and I can't. But anyway, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that because that's real. That's real.
You are
You know,
more than enough, sister.
and I thank you for seeing me because that's a lot of the problem that sometimes you feel like people don't see you. And like I'm fighting every day to be a better person, to do more for myself because I had to really come to grips with a lot of the things in my life was not working for me. It might be working for everybody else, but it's not working for me. And when you make changes, people, who's real and who's not. Put it like that.
Yeah.
When you start making those changes and you don't accept things the way you used to, that it's hard.
And
It's
sister,
hard
I'll tell
because
you a lot of people can't go with you to your next
What?
season. Okay? A
That
lot
part.
of people you were supposed to leave in 2021 and you still got them in 2025. Some people you just gotta leave them right where they are.
yeah,
Even down to family. If they
fast.
not trying to grow with you, if they not trying to help build you up, cut them off. Because you are more than enough.
And it's so hard because I'm gonna say this last thing, then I'm gonna go. Because I'm in school right now and I gotta get
Mm.
all my work in tonight by 11:59, but I'm gonna be with y'all. Because I this makes me feel good, so I'm always here. One last thing. Like I just said, I'm in culinary school. I'm a straight A student. But I
Okay.
can't even share it. You know what I'm saying? I can't even share it because right now I'm focused. I got a goal. I'm trying to do some things. And I'm so I know if I share it and I know how my people, my family is about it, how they get negative or whatever because they don't see it or they don't. Because I'm a very creative person. I used to rap when I was young. I've always
Uh-huh.
been creative. Like I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I hate working for people because it just do not work for me. But every time I would tell like my mom, I'm a writer. That's stupid. That's it. And and it's so crazy because some people said a little earlier, how we have to talk to ourselves. Because what I realized as I'm getting older, you leave that trauma, but you start being the person putting the trauma on yourself. Because I can see sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm saying to myself, I can't do that because this, and this, and this. But that's not really my feelings. That's the feelings that I used to get from a childhood that I'm still carrying. So this has been powerful. I can, man, this has been powerful. This is powerful. I love these kind of conversations, and I'm gonna have to cut myself because if I don't, I'm gonna be in trouble with this schoolwork. But
Okay,
thank
that's
y'all,
what we here for. Everybody in the world ain't messed up. It's just a lot of people that we know are.
thank y'all.
Keep that in mind. A lot of
Yes,
people don't, you know what I mean? And a lot of times the perception is that a lot of people messed up because I'm messed up. Because I think I give, even if I give them the benefit of the doubt, whatever happened, whether it go in my favor or not, guess what I got? A learning experience. I know not to do that no more.
yes,
You
yes.
understand what I'm saying? So
Understand.
this,
I'm
we
thankful.
always
This
quick
is
to
I'm
judge.
seriously,
Mm-hmm.
Pee Wee, for real, seriously, because you holding it down. There's a lot of women up in here, and you holding it
Oh,
down. I'm
oh
saying
man.
thank you for everything you've been saying because, and I'm gonna say this because we the same age, but
Mm-hmm.
the other I don't want to keep bringing up issues, but it's a lot of these issues I really have. It's something
Mm-hmm.
about when you don't have a daddy too, growing up in
Mm-hmm.
your life to help
Mm-hmm.
you to really know they give you that confidence and that self-esteem too. I watch my
Mm-hmm.
husband with my daughter and I be thinking, man, that's how it's supposed to be when you have a daddy that's standing in the
Mm-hmm.
gap for you. I never had that.
Mm-hmm.
Stepdaddies who dogged me, but my daddy wasn't there. So, that's a lot of it. So to hear a man really give this type of advice and give this attention, I appreciate that. I can tell you that. So thank you for that too. I'm
No
getting
problem.
down because I
Uh,
gotta go.
All right.
Miss
all right,
Parker,
sister, take
thank
care of
you for
yourself.
letting me
Be good to
come.
listen,
Thank
be
All right.
nice to you. Be
Thank
nice to you.
Be good
thank
to
you.
yourself.
I
Walk
love
in
Mm-hmm.
y'all
grace
for
and know
real.
that you are more than enough.
No. Be nice to you.
Thank you,
Thank
Roz.
you.
Kenya sister, you jumped up here.
Yes, can you hear me?
What it do? Yes, sister, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get mine out. I'm at work. That's why I had to get off this while ago. But first of all, I want to say salute to you. I love the spirit. I love that you allow us, give us like this opportunity to be able to talk about hard things. I appreciate that. I appreciate the brother for being on the panel. I really do. Because as we dealt with our significant others, sometimes they don't even want to go to the doctor. you know,
Mhm.
they don't even want to go to the doctor because they don't want to admit that they sick or that something is wrong or that they're not okay. So I appreciate that. But I just wanted to get on here and say that um, when I put it up, um, I just wanted to get on here and say that when when the one young lady when you had read her comment and she was saying that she is a cheerleader, she's always able to cheer for others when not able to cheer for herself, and that's been me before, um, but I can only admit what I the things I went through. I wasn't able to cheer for myself because I wanted somebody else to cheer for me. I was looking for that validation out of other people, to make me feel like that I was okay, to make me feel like that I was something or somebody. And and through that, I realized from it being done to me that I was draining people, um, because I was so held on to them. I put it up. I ain't put the number down. Get away from me. I'm sorry, y'all. But so and also, so with that being said, it was like, I had to um I'm no Bible scholar. So, I don't want anyone to take it like I'm not preaching to anybody. I'm just telling my story. But there's a story in the Bible, Marion and Aaron, that has really stood out to me. Um, because I wasn't understanding when Marion was struck with leprosy, and I had to go and I went and tried to look further into why Marion was punished and not Aaron. And upon the text, it was stating that there's a difference between misleading and being misled. And I used to be the one that was misleading people that was easy to be misled. So it's times where when I find myself in a particular space where um, I'm not in that self-encouraging mode, or where I'm not wanting to, where I'm not okay. I don't allow myself to go around people or to because I have a lot of people that will call me and and want to vent to me and everything. That's why I told one of the comments, I think it was Juanita, um, and Miss Walker. I've done said it on several occasions. If anybody want to talk to me, I always tell them to go to God first about me. Go to God first about anything, because a listening ear is not always a caring ear. And I'm not saying that I'm not caring, but I could be less caring in that moment than what you need. So I may not be the right fit for you at that time due to what it is that I'm going through within myself. Uh, and so, I just wanted to get on here and just say, that God is amazing. He has done a lot of great things that it's been times where, let's just call a spade a spade. I gravitated towards men for my healing. And I wasn't understanding why that I was promiscuous. I wasn't understanding why that I felt like that I needed the touch or the attention from a man. Um, and it wasn't until someone who had went through the same thing that I went through. I didn't know that I was having daddy issues. I didn't understand it. Try not to get emotional when I'm at work, but I didn't understand it. Why I was having daddy issues. Um, and being at 47 years old, I don't know who my biological father is. My mother has passed. Um, and so, with that being said, that's why I say, learn you. And sometimes it takes learning other people and what they've been through to identify things in yourself. So when we think that we don't want to continue on, because what I mean, when you go through stuff and it's easy to hear, oh, you're not going through it for yourself, you're going through it for somebody else. I didn't want to go through it for nobody else. I didn't want to deal with it at all. I'm like, let them go through their own go throughs. Because I wasn't educated on it, and I was selfish and I was stubborn and I was just self-absorbed. I was self-absorbed in what I wanted. I was self-absorbed in what I was going through, and I wasn't caring about what nobody else was going through until I had to care, until I was made to care, and then when you have to, and when you made to, and then when you make it a habit, when you make it a habit of caring, it comes natural instead of bucking up against it, but being stubborn and just understanding. And that's why I said, a lot of people don't realize different things go into mental health. And that's why I said, uh, get your blood work checked routine. Do routine blood work because your blood work and certain things, it does play a factor. You could have a deficiency in one area where you're not understanding. Um, and just to be able to get a better understanding of you and who you are and what it is that you lack and what it is that you need. But you have to be willing to understand, because I wasn't always willing. I wasn't always willing to want to know what was going on with me. I was just blowing in the wind. I was just blowing in the wind. Whichever way it landed me is what I dealt with. I was that chameleon. I was that chameleon that I talked about other people being. That was me. And I just want to get on here and say that I love you.
Oh,
And uh, you know, I appreciate you. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate how you choose to share yourself with us when you don't have to. You can just come on here and do stories and not even talk about you, not even give us a safe place and open up your platform to have these hard conversations and to be able to talk. And you do that. You
mm,
do that. And I appreciate
love
you.
you, sister.
I appreciate you so much.
I love you,
And
sister.
I'm gonna get off here because they get ready to get on my nerves in the background, baby. And and yeah, and I just want to say blessings to everyone on the platform. that has went through anything or that is going through anything. And if you need somebody to talk to, if you feel like that you alone, don't just run your mouth because your business ain't everybody's business. Always ask God to direct you and to put someone in your path where it creates a safe space where you can talk. And that's why I'm glad that God has put me in your path to where you create a safe place for us to be able to come and talk. Um, and I appreciate you for that.
I love you, sister. I do.
I'm gonna drop down because I got tears dropping, and I'm gonna drop down.
Oh, thank you and love scene. Thank you, my sisters, for sharing. Hey, Kimberly, you up next, sister? What it do?
Hi, Miss Parker. Hi,
Hey.
writers. So, I am a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I do psychotherapy and medication management. Um, I mentioned in the chat that some people are misdiagnosed and they're treating one thing when they really should be treating another. And that's why some people never get better. You know, a lot of mental health disorders have overlapping symptoms. So one thing can look like the next, but if you're not treating it correctly, then they'll never get better. I have a little list that just based off what everyone was saying. Trauma. You know, trauma is a psychological or physiological response to a distressing or overwhelming event. So it's not always just I'm a war veteran or I was in a bad car accident. It can be emotional too. So prolonged exposure to a stressful situation. It could be a relationship. It could be your parents talking bad to you. It could be you having to grow up at 9 years old and taking care of the whole household because your parents had to work. Those are all traumas. And sometimes we never work through it. I know for me, I live in the South. I was raised with my grandparents. So there was always that mental health stigma. Don't go to the psychiatrist. Don't go to a psychologist because you're going to be crazy. And let's be honest, a lot of us needed to see a psychologist. And we can look back and say, oh, well, no wonder why Uncle David was so crazy because he was probably bipolar. That's why he would just go off his rocker with no explanation. Um, what else was it? Oh, and I do want to appreciate say I appreciate this black man being in mental health. We need more of it. We need more black people in mental health. Period. There are a lot of people that say, "Well, I would have come to you a long time ago if I would have known that you were black," because we can understand each other, and they feel sometimes that Caucasian or other ethnicity doctors or therapists don't understand the struggles that black people go through. Um, Daddy issues is another thing. You know, we all know daddy issues can lead to women making the wrong choices with men or getting with the older man to get that love that a daddy should have given them. But in the process, we end up getting used and abused. And then someone else mentioned the blood work. Definitely blood work. Vitamin D, vitamin B12, folic, your thyroid issues. If those are out of whack, it can mimic depression. It can mimic a manic episode if your levels are not right. So go to the doctor, get your blood work. Although I'm a nurse practitioner and I am able to prescribe, I tell my patients from the time they walk through the door, I am not a pill pusher. I don't get any money for prescribing. We can do therapy, and let's see if we can work through these traumas before we go to a pharmacological option. And they appreciate that because I don't like to take medication. I've gone through my own trauma, so I have my own issues. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have PTSD. So I can empathize with my patients because I've gone through something similar. And I mental health is my passion. I have always wondered, what is my purpose? I don't understand my purpose. Why am I here? I just felt so unfulfilled. And then once I got into mental health and I can see the progression of my patients and how they're getting better um, mentally and emotionally, it is so rewarding. And I have learned that mental health is my passion. My patients have my cell phone number. If they need to call me, it doesn't matter, day or night, call me. I will fit you in. I will talk to you on the phone. I will talk you off of the ledge. Please call me. I don't want you to end up in another crisis. So I love mental health. It's my baby, it's my passion. If anyone ever needs to talk offline, online, I am open, I am flexible, and I am a great, um, I have a great shoulder to cry on and a great listening ear. And that's all that I had to say. I feel like I said a lot, but that was all that I had to
Nah,
say.
you didn't say enough.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Hold on. Karen Turner said, liver also. She's asking. She's talking
Liver,
because you said something, I think, about the thyroids or something.
liver,
You
we
and I,
have to take
Kimberly.
that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, the liver and the kidney, that's mostly how your medications are metabolized. So we do have to take that in consideration when we prescribe, because if one of those aren't functioning properly, it can lead to too much medication in your system at one time. So if they're out of whack, that really does not affect the mental health, but it does affect how you metabolize your medication.
Hmm. Okay. She said, Love Scene said, I'm looking for a therapist because I need trauma therapy.
Well, okay, so I do psychotherapy, which is basically talk therapy, like talking to one of your girlfriends. That's what I always tell my patient. I'm not a therapist. I did not go through 3,000 hours of therapy sessions, but I know how the brain works. I know how mental health can affect a person. So if she needs someone to talk to just to let it out, talking in itself is therapeutic. Crying in itself is therapeutic. So just to get some things off of your chest can be therapy. So I mean, if she wants to talk, I don't mind. I will listen to her, and I can give my 2 cents. If I'm not a perfect fit. I say therapy is like dating. You have to go through some bad ones before you find the right fit. So if you've tried therapy and you didn't like your therapist, please give it another chance, because I'm sorry, a middle-aged white man is not going to understand the struggles of a black woman. So you have to have someone there that can understand what you're going through and understand what you're saying. And black people, we have our own language. We just know each other, and it's just good to have that familiar shit. I can't talk, but it's good to have that because we can empathize. I know how you feel when you say XYZ because I've been through something similar. Whereas Sabrina may not understand that because she was a white woman, middle class, that went to private school with both her parents in the home. They may not be able to empathize with us. So please, please, please try to find a therapy. A resource that I tell my patients is Psychology Today. You can filter it by age. You can filter it by um, race, ethnicity. You can filter your therapy by religion. So that way, only these people who fit this criteria will pop up, and then you can go down the list and reach out to see if they're accepting new clients or whatever, if they're able to give you what you need. But don't give up. Do not keep this stuff bottled in. Let it out. I have a therapist. My therapist got to get me together every now and then because sometimes I struggle with my mental health. I had a stillborn daughter. After I left the hospital without my baby, my mental health just went down into the gutter. Couldn't sleep, cried for no reason, anxieties through the roof because a piece of me is gone. Not many people know what it feels like to go into the hospital to have a baby only to walk out empty handed because your baby passed during delivery. That is trauma. And I never grieved it. I lost my baby in 2011. I did not seek therapy until 2023. For those 12 years, I was miserable. I would sit in my room and I would cry. I just met my father for the first time in my whole entire life at 41 years old, and he lived 5 minutes down the street.
Mm.
My mom knew who it was. She never told me. I would cry to my mom. Who is my dad? Yes, I had my grandfather. Yes, I had my stepdad. But I was treated like the redheaded stepchild. And my granddad was a black grandfather in the 80s. all he did was take care of the family. It was no affection, it was no hugs, and I'm a very affectionate person, so I never got that. So yes, I made some poor choices in men. Definitely some poor choices in men, but that was because I had that void that I never had, that daddy's or that male attention and love that a father should give their daughter. And meeting my dad and knowing that my mom knew who it was all this time brought back a whole bunch of other trauma. So I can understand when someone says, I don't have my father, and I was sleeping around because I had that void. I had daddy issues. I can understand because I did the same thing. Luckily, I only have one living child, and I don't have any diseases that I can't get rid of. So I'm glad that I was protected in that aspect. But I definitely made some poor choices in my 20s regarding men. So yeah, I can understand the struggles, being home, taking care of your younger siblings, not being able to go outside and hang with your friends like some of your peers because you're home, you helping with homework, you cooking full course meals and doing hair at 12 years old when you should be outside at the playground playing hopscotch. That's not right. So I understand, y'all. I get it. I understand. And that's why mental health is my baby. I love it so much because I love to help people.
Mm, that was beautiful. Kiki, you came up next. What it do, Kiki?
I'm going to drop down.
You don't have to drop if you want to drop down. Y'all free to stay up, but go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, thank you, goodness. My Shein headphones weren't working right. I said, Lord, it's time to buy some new ones. All right, so with me, with me, Miss Parker, respectfully, I don't want to go into all the details of everything I've been through because it's just a lot of craziness. And if I get to that point where I do tell my story, I'm gonna do it starting on my platform. But y'all, I've been through a lot too, and I honestly, when I say I've been depressed for years, and it's so sad, this is like I don't want to cry. I've been depressed probably for about 16 years now, and it's sad that I've been counting the years that I just been depressed. Um, when the pandemic started, it gave me a reason to not leave the house. So I was a frontline worker. Um, I was just happy that the pandemic started. I was happy to wear a mask. I was just happy because like a lot of times, like a lot of days I cried behind my mask and nobody fucking knew that. Oops, excuse me. Nobody knew that. But when they said all you gotta do is stay in the house so you don't get the C-19, I said, word, I've been waiting my whole life almost for something like this. Stay in the house. That way I ain't gotta deal with people or the public. I did that. But it's then bit me in the butt now because I went ahead and got me a little work from home job. I said, forget the public. And I probably counting on, I say I've been out of my house, like away from my house, like 5 feet more away from my house, probably like 20 times in the last 5 years.
Mm.
I And yeah, my friend, I had a friend. She was like, she tried to invite me on a cruise, and I'm like, I'm not going on that. The last thing you want me to do, crash out on a daggone cruise. Like, so she's like, I explained to her. A lot of people don't understand. When I tell them I hadn't just been out the house, like, um, she's like, what happened? What happened? And nothing happened. I feel like I'm safe. I feel good. I pay bills in here. I got everything that I need in here. And now, oh my gosh, I got my fur baby. I have what I need. And then now with my current situation, I know I have to be very careful. Um, my days, like I said, are less sad. Um, I look at each day as progress. Um, the only thing I can say to everybody is find something to do. I swear to you, find something to do. Because when I turned 33 years old, sitting crying, and I'm like, everybody keeps telling me for 30 whatever, you look so young. And I'm like, that won't last forever if I'm this jacked up all the time.
Mm.
I'll be sitting in a nursing home with dementia, and the only thing I can remember is my traumas. And I don't want that. Y'all need to understand that depression and stuff like that cause causes you to forget. Okay, I know it leads to dementia. I mean, I don't even need to look it up because I was getting to the point where I was waking up not knowing what day it was,
Mm.
just forgetting stuff. I need y'all to do your best to get out of the depression. I'm doing better each day and I'm climbing out. I'm doing my best just not to fall back into a dark hole because I'm the only one that can pull myself out. In order for me to make as much progress as I have right now, I have cut everybody off that didn't mean me no good. Everything that didn't mean me no good, I cut it off. Whether it was the music I listened to, the food I was eating that was causing me to be jacked up, waking up in the middle of the night, the people. I never always stay to myself. I'm gonna tell y'all that. That's probably the one reason why. Um, I've always stayed to myself, and only just because I always felt like I never really could be myself around people, or the people that I was with or around. So I just stayed to myself. I've always been social. I've always been able to be put in any environment and blend in and fit in and just get along with everybody. But then at the same time, I have my stuff as well, and I deal with it alone. I deal with it in silence. I sit. You may not see me or hear from me. I'm working on me. It's not that I'm dropping off the face or whatever. I'm working on me because I have to be the one to pull myself out. I'm not going to expect anyone else to do it, and I'm not going to run. And I used to trauma dump on people and stuff, and I'm like, damn, I'm bringing them down. I'm saying that, dang, such and such didn't wreck their car. Oh, after I told them my situation, no, I got this. I'm gonna deal with it. But I'm here right now to tell you that you got this, okay? If I'm sitting here doing this, you're gonna sit here and do it with me. I know that sounds bossy, but find something to do. When I turned 33, I said, look, this has gotta give right here. I cannot be depressed. Like literally, I need to start like I need to do something because I'm trying to get up into the nursing home when I'm 90 years old. I'm trying to be shaking a leg. I'm trying to be sitting at Big O Night and they play master cut with all my content that back in the day. Oh yeah, I was that girl back in that. But yeah, see, look, they ain't playing no crazy stuff. I would rather them play that instead of a master cut of me crying, being sad, or that master cut running through my mind constantly 24/7 because you end up not remembering anything else. When I worked at a nursing home, I used to talk to the elderly people, and you can't the ones in geriatrics, you can only get but so much from them. But while they're still with it and you're talking to them and asking them and things, their traumas were the only thing that they ever remembered. There was a woman and her kids burned up in a fire, and she walked around the nursing home with these reborn babies. Where are my kids? Where are my kids? She didn't remember the adult. She didn't remember the adult that was still alive. She just remembered the one when they were little. I'm telling you, y'all, find something to do. I ended up getting my trademark at 33 because I said I got this brand that I just randomly came up with. I started painting because I had supporters on Instagram before they shut it down. I had supporters that told me, "Oh my gosh, girl, you're talented and you're funny. Or you can paint too, or you can do all this." And when you're sitting and you're like timid and you're not really thinking about it, you have to have people come hype you up so you can start feeling your worth. When people get up under you, that's why I am, just in case y'all wonder why I'm so supportive or I want to hype you up, because I don't know what type of day you had. So I want to hype you up because, hey, I like what you're doing. If I support it, I support it. If I love you, I love you. I want to support you. And it might get on your nerves. You just have to tell me to chill. But find something to do. I started with my brand. It was just a name. I had a couple art pieces painted. Then I went from that and I said, well, I was just posting other people's memes and stuff. I said, well, I'm bored now. Well, I was watching other people's skits when I was so depressed and stuff like that. Maybe I should start doing them because shoot, I could help myself and other people. I've fallen in love with producing and directing and acting and just comedy. Just by me trying to figure out not how to stay. Hold on. Just from me trying not to be sad and cry every day. And mind you, hey, don't feel bad for me right now. This is the first time like in a couple weeks that I didn't cry like this. So I'm proud of myself. But
Okay.
yes, to keep myself busy. I always say keep your mind busy because I forget that the stuff I told TikTok I hadn't told y'all. Keep your mind busy because I mean you can cry while you're doing it, but you're doing something that's your passion. I mean, it's gonna turn into something that you never thought it would become. Like all of my art pieces I had sat over and cried in and all the tears and dried up in the paint at them. And I said, and I'm proud. I am proud of myself because I'm like, oh, I did that. It's not the best, but I sat here instead of like doing something negative to myself, I was doing something positive. I started doing comedy skits just to troll certain situations, and I'm like, man, I really like this now. Like, I'm feeling like Issa Rae right now, or Spike Lee, or something. Like I'm feeling like I want to go far with that. So far, like, and I'm tired of doing this stuff. I'm tired of staring at a computer screen and getting cussed at by people who don't want to pay their bill. And so I want to do something that makes me so happy, but then it'll make other people happy at the same time. So find something that you like to do. I don't the last girl, the girl before the last one, she was, I don't care if your family and friends don't support you. I ain't gonna say the word, but FK them. All of them. If you have to cut them off, do it. I did. And it hurts. It hurts to stop talking to people. But let me tell you something. My dad always used to tell me negative vibes, negative energy turn to negative vibes, and then it turns and leads to bad luck. Now tell me that's not right. It does. Stay away
Mm.
from them people. If they are giving you bad juju, bad energy, they seem like they kind of like I come in here, Miss Parker, your hair is so cute, girl. Now, what if I came in here and said, "Oh, Cruella Deville," something like that, something crazy? That's just showing Miss Parker that I got secret animosity on her. I love her. I think she's wonderful. And like I said, people like Miss Parker, I look up to you. Shank Rock, I look up to you. Yeah, I see what when y'all doing something, it motivates when I was painting my Nipsey Hussle art piece. And as long as it took me every day, I was motivated every single day, even the days that I took a break and didn't do it. 3 years. It'll be 3 years this August that I've been just doing stuff on it. And I took my time and I said, I'm gonna be here for this and I'm gonna finish this art piece. Like, and once I'm done, I'm gonna be able to do what Nipsey did with his mixtape and hopefully sell it for $1 million or something. I may never sell it for $1 million. I might just have it to look at until I might be bringing that into the nursing home to hang on my wall behind my bed. I don't know, but I still did that. So stop feeling sad. I know it's hard, but I'm gonna need you to like chill. Tomorrow, I need you to wake up and hopefully it's sunny. If it is, I need you to stand at the window and shine just as bright as that sun. Smile. Look up. Look, this is something that I have to do because if I didn't, I would be an evil, evil, evil. I'd just be like talking so much more. You know what? I have to look at everything as art, not just what I'm painting and not just what I'm producing. I have to look at everything as art. It could be a soda can. You know why? Because once I start looking at things as ugly and nasty and just then it's gonna rub me the wrong way. So I have to stay positive. Walk outside tomorrow in the sun. I'm sorry. These people in Virginia, I'm gonna put the blue and red lights back up in my window. They just some loud mufflers. but but yeah,
Yo,
I promise.
Kiki, real
Uh-huh.
quick, can you show him? You still got your Nipsey picture, or did you sell it?
I still got it. I don't want to come on the camera
Can
right
you
now.
can you cam it up?
No, I can't. I'm in a different room.
Oh,
But
okay,
what I'll do is I'll take a picture of it and I'll post it and I'll
send
tag
it
you
to me. Send it to me. Send it to me on Insta. I'm gonna share it on
send it
my.
to your
Yeah,
Instagram.
y'all check my community wild in a minute, but go ahead and send it to me on Insta. And
I
I'm gonna save
will.
it
And
and
y'all
share
want
it.
me to tell you a secret? I don't know how
She's
to
dope,
daggone
y'all.
paint. I do not know how to
Yes, she
paint.
do. Oh, yes, she do. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Girl, I do. Okay, I'm telling you, do it. I don't care if somebody whispers to you and say, "Hey, you might be good at that." when I tell you stuff, when I come onto your stuff and I tell you, oh, you good at interviews, oh, you this, I'm telling you, I see something. I see something. And I gotta get with you, Miss Parker and Shank, to do an interview with y'all, because we if anybody I should be sitting with, it should be y'all, because when I came over here disheveled and all rattled up like I was in a Tyler Perry movie from TikTok, honey, I was discouraged. I'm like, I got all this content sitting over here and I don't have no friends. But when I
Yes,
came
you
over,
got a sister. You
I
got sister.
popped up. I know. When I popped up in y'all's chat, I think I popped up in Shank Rocks first, and that's where I met you too, Miss Parker. I came the first day, and I came back the next. I just kept coming. I'm sorry now I'm all over the place trying to. I sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't even know whether
Come
I'm
back.
coming to go. But I always will show love. But yeah, I gotta get with you because I do want to do like another something else. But y'all, please, you won't be able to think clearly. I need you to make sure you get something to eat. That's why I'm thin. That's why I'm thin for real. Because for me, part of my self-harm was just not eating. Just not. I'm just sitting here under the y'all see I don't know if you see my little mini documentary I did where I said I was sad all the majority of the time, but I'm telling you, it'll mess with you. And I'm gracious right now. I'm good, but I'm trying to work on myself. I'm working on it. I need y'all to do the same thing. Please do not let yourself fall so deep down into a hole where you cannot pull yourself out. And I can't see nobody's comments. I'm sorry, but because it'll make me sad. But just find something to do, find some inspiration, find Nipsey Hussle. That man, a handsome man, that man was a very great inspiration. And while I wish I was a deeper fan to know more what he was active in and stuff, I still knew of him. So I was very highly devastated, probably more than anybody else, actually Aaliyah, and then him. But I was devastated, and I painted. The first one I painted of him was a tiny art piece. And that's what caused my friends on Instagram to say, you need to be doing some Bob Ross stuff. And I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening at all. It took me getting really down in the dumps, like real bad, for me to sit up. And I said, well, I'm going to do it. It's going to pay off one day. I'm hoping. If not, at least I got a lot of dope shit. Excuse my language. At least I got a lot of dope stuff that I did. So, but I'm not gonna talk y'all's head off. I just wanted to come on here and I guess formally introduce myself and just like let y'all know, find some inspiration, because when you find inspiration, you find motivation behind that, and then with motivation comes dedication, and then after that you have a whole I don't know, whole empire that you've built. So start small, start today, and stay
Thank you,
happy.
Kiki.
Remember what I said. If I've been sad for 15, 16 years, but I'm still kicking. So I love y'all. Thank you, Miss Parker. I love
Love you
you.
too, Kiki. And you got a sister over with us. Hey, Drea. What it do,
Thank
sister?
you. I love y'all. I'm gonna get off of here so I can eat. I'm hungry.
I love you too. Kiki, hit me up.
Okay.
I'm right seeing my number two when I get done. Hit me up. Hey, Drea.
Salute, Miss Parker. How are you?
Good. What it do, Drea? What it do,
Not much.
sis?
Not much. I just kind of wanted to share my story, just a little bit of my story. I got a long-winded story. But since I was a little kid, I know that there was a lot of abuse. I know there was physical. I know there was mental. There was emotional, verbal. I mean, you name it, I went through it. As far as the SA, I can't place where it came from, but I know it was there. Reason why is because growing up, I was a hypersexual little girl, and that's not normal for little girls. Okay. I also hung around with a bunch of little boys. All my friends are basically little boys, and that wasn't a good idea either. So, as growing up, I used to be a bully because I knew once I got home from school what my life would entail, and it wasn't anything fun. I was the youngest of three. My mother was a very young mom, but she didn't like my father at all. And whatever would happen between them, she really took out on me. And to this day, she still kind of does. Like, she still drops little side notes about how I'm so much like him, and that kind of hurts my feelings because she really didn't like that man. But because of that, I went through a lot of emotional distress. I mean, I went through a lot. And growing up, I've been fighting all these demons and not knowing why, not knowing what's wrong with me. But as I get older, I start to peel back the onion, I guess you could say, and figure out where these are all coming from. I've battled with drug addiction. I've been to prison because of drug addiction. I've lived a life. I used to go travel different concerts, do all kinds of stuff. I battled cancer. I found out when I got out of prison, I was out of prison 5 months and found out that I was a stage 2B, which Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I had to sit down some more, go through chemotherapy, radiation. That was tough. Once I got done with that, I found myself a group of friends that weren't really friends. And I find myself finding those same kind of people. But they would mess with my mental health. Like, I don't like being laughed at. I don't like being the laughing stock of something because that triggers me due to some things that happened when I was a kid, how I was put on display and all the neighborhood kids would stand around and make fun of me. And that was one of my punishments for something that I couldn't control. But it scarred me. I mean, when I say I was broken, I was broken. I mean, I was broken. So that's why I can understand when these little kids, I look at them and maybe there's a boy that's wearing lipstick and nail polish. It's because they were broken. And they were treated like a female at a very young age when they should have been treated like a man, and they weren't. And I understand that. And it breaks my heart every time I see it because those are the things that I battle. Okay, everybody, wants to know my status. Okay, I am a lesbian. I don't think that I am a lesbian by choice so much. I think it's just what I had to go through. It's what was bred into me. I was, as a kid, my mom dressed me as a little boy. She never taught me how to be a female. She never taught me how to be a girl. I don't know how to be a girl. I'm starting to learn myself in so many ways, but I don't know. I don't know how to wear makeup. I didn't know how to do my own hair. I have locks now. Before I used to have a high and tight because that was the way I kept it clean. Now I have locks. My wife takes care of my locks for me, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know how to be a female. So I wear boys' clothes, I have a deep voice because I have thyroid issues. And I got other health issues going on, but I just think that a lot of it is my mental health has really suffered. And I used to see a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I was on Xanax, Zoloft, all kinds of stuff, because at one point I was homicidal and suicidal. And I meant every word I was saying to my mother, who decided at that point she was going to take me to a hospital and have me evaluated. And when she did so, I had to see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a counselor. They put me on medication. And I stayed with my counselor for a while. But my counselor was a really weird situation. My counselor was transgender, which I don't mind that. I don't mind it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, how can you tell me what's wrong with me if you have changed who you are to be somebody that you're not happy with? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, what? And then my counselor was friends with my psychologist. And one day I was kind of running late, and the girl I was seeing at the time was in the car with me, taking me to my appointment. And I was telling my counselor, I said, hey, I'm on my way. I should be there in 5 minutes. She's like, okay, I love you. Why that woman said that to me, I don't know. But my girlfriend in the car was like, are you screwing your counselor now? Like, it was a whole bunch of mess. And it was just like, that's not the situation. So I had to stop seeing my counselor. I had to stop seeking that kind of help. And, ever since then, I haven't seen another counselor. And that was probably, I want to say, probably 20 years ago. I haven't seen another counselor. I haven't really dealt with it. I know that there's a thing inside of me that if I get real angry, I'm full of rage. I'm full of rage, and it's hurt. I know it's hurt. I know it's pain. And I'm trying very hard to get to the bottom of it because I'm not a mean person. I'm probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I'll give somebody the shirt off my back. I promise I will. But at the same time, if you cross me, I turn into a whole nother person. It takes a while, a couple times of crossing me, but it's there. And I don't like it. I don't want to be an intimidating person. I don't want to be that bully that I was as a kid. I have a big thick armor. I do. I have an armor, but yet at the same time, I'm real sensitive. Somebody says something, hurt my feelings. I might take it really to heart. Like, damn, that hurt. And I know mental health is a real thing. Mental illness is a real thing, and I believe I suffer from both. And I'm really seeking some help. I went to a doctor, so-called doctor, that a sibling of mine set me up with, and this man is not. I mean, I think he can help me in some ways, but in a lot of ways, he's more of the hippie type. Like, let's take mushrooms and meditate and do this. Like, I don't think that that's where I need to be, because back when I was living my life, and I used to do the mushrooms. I used to go to concerts and do all that stuff, and I don't think that that's where I need to be. I mean, I need to release this. I don't know if it's hypnosis. I don't know what it is, but I need to get to the core of it. I need to release it. I need to let it go. I think from the time I was a little kid up till now, I have really grown within myself and realized a lot of things about myself and changed a lot of things about myself. But there are some things that I just can't reach, that I need help with, and it's sad. It's sad to me. And there's times I just cry. I at one point I had a dog, and she was my support animal. And this might get me going right here. She was my support animal, and I say was because it was a year ago she passed away. She waited for me to get home from work. My wife called me and said, I don't know, she's not responding. You got to come home. So I came home as fast as I could, and she laid on the floor. She was dying, but she took her last breath in my arms. And I've always said, and it's still so hard for me because I don't deal with grief well. I said, what do you do when you lose your support animal, the one animal that keeps you from crashing out when they're gone, and you're crashing out because they're gone? What supports you at this point? I mean, where do you get that support from? You can't just go pick up another animal and say, okay, now you're my support, because you've grown with it. What I'm saying? I grew with my dog, and every day I miss my dog. Like, that was really my support. That was everything. When I felt I didn't have any friends, that was my best friend. And now I feel real lonely. Yes, I have a wife. My wife loves me, but I feel lonely. And sometimes I'm scared because I'm lonely. And it's hard to talk about with people, because a lot of times people say, oh, you're just making it up, or that you're crazy. And I'm not crazy. I mean, maybe I am a little crazy, but there's a reason for it. And I mean, before you put a jacket on me, realize why you want me to wear that jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through a lot. I mean, a lot. I mean, somebody's story is always worse, but if I were to sit and actually tell y'all exactly the things that I went through that I can remember, there'd be a lot of people in prison. You know what I mean? Like, the things I went through back in the 70s to how they do things now. Nah, it wouldn't be a thing, So I'm really trying to be a strong Black woman that loves myself, because I never loved myself. I was always told I wouldn't be nothing. I wouldn't amount to nothing. I wasn't good at nothing. The one thing that gives me my release are my drums. That's why on the side of my name I have those African drums, because I'm a hand drummer. For one, it lets me release because I get to hit something. Two, the sound that comes out and the vibration that comes out of it really warms my spirit, warms my soul. So when I play my drums, that's the only release I have. However, I'm in an area now where I can't necessarily play my drums because they're loud, and where I'm at in Texas is there's not really a place that I know of. I haven't been here that long to where I can go and feel comfortable playing my drum and playing by myself. So, I've kind of set back from that. So, life is really hard for me right now, but I struggle every day. I pick my head up every day, and I thank the Most High that I have another day. However, it's a struggle. And like I tell people, I really fight demons every day. There's times my mind's telling you, oh, you want to go get high, go get high. You know what I'm saying? And I know I don't want to get high. I don't want to do that. I remember drinking alcohol at like 7 years old. I started drinking alcohol at 7 years old. Like, why? What little kid does that? What little kid plots the death of their parent at 5? A kid that's damaged and broken, And I realized that's the kid that I was. That's the person that it's not the person that I am, but that's what has sculpted me to be in this mental health situation that I'm in, And I don't want to be there anymore. And I know it's going to take work. I'm a work in progress, and I just really want to get the help that I need and be a better person for myself and anybody, within my realm, and I'm out to help people. I'm out to help these babies because I mean, the last thing I want is another little kid to go through what I went through in any way, shape, or form, because I know what the outcome is. And it's when you're broken, you're broken. And it
Mm.
takes a lot to fix broken. It's like taking a pot, breaking it, gluing it back together, throwing it down, breaking it again. There are only so many times you can glue that pot back together before it's broken. And that's where I'm at. And I just know I need the help. I'm seeking the help. I'm trying to find the best way to get the help. But your platform really helps. You and Shank Rock, you guys let people get it out. Let people express it. Almost like a support group, almost like an AA meeting type thing. You sit down and you say who you are and where you're coming from, and that's good because there's no judgment. I feel like this is a safe space. And I just want to let y'all know my story, and that and not that everybody's not you're not alone. And I know I'm not alone. You know, but my
Mm.
mental health comes from a lot of abuse, and that's where it comes from. With lots of kids, lots of people come from stemming from a lot of abuse, and that's really it.
Mm. Drea, man, and you got a sisterhood over here. You and Juju, y'all sisters. Y'all, it's just not a support group. We are a sisterhood over here. Um,
Yeah.
and you are never alone. And I do got a couple of sisters. Kimberly said, she's the sister therapist. It's like talking to a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I got a couple of more sisters that Kimberly, what kind of recommendations would you have for Juju? I mean, Drea.
Definitely therapy.
Hmm.
Get another emotional support animal. I owe a lot of people an apology because I thought like they just want to take their pets everywhere. But now I have two cats and I understand how much support they provide emotionally.
Hmm.
I got my cat. I'm gonna just tell the story real quick. I hated cats. I hated them. They creeped me out. Their eyes glow in the dark and they were sneaky. I hated cats. And somehow something guided me to the SPCA. And I was looking at dogs, but then the dogs started barking. They were too loud for me. I don't like a lot of noise, it overstimulates me. So, okay, my son, we went over to see the cats. I'm on my way out the door. I see the cat in the bottom corner looking lonely. We get the cat, fall in love with the cat, bring the cat home. The very next week is the week that I found my father and I met my father for the first time. And all of those emotions and the animosity that I had towards my mom came back and it came back with a vengeance. And when I say I cried 24 hours a day for like 3 days straight, I
Hmm.
did, but my cat was there, and that cat was so clutch. That cat was working overtime to get me in check, and he did what he was supposed to do. So I am an advocate. Get yourself an emotional support pet of some sort. You need it. It's like it's almost mandatory. You got to have that animal if you are struggling with depression or anxiety. It has helped me so much. I, listen, it has. So therapy, emotional support animal, get out of the house. The other young lady said she struggled with her mental health, but when COVID came, I guess it kind of really surfaced, and that's because you know we are functioning depressive people. We still got to go to work. We can't sit in the house and just sit and cry. We got kids to take care of. We got bills to pay. But when COVID happened, we were forced to stay in the house. And that idle mind, we all know what happens when you have an idle mind. Everything just kind of comes to the surface, and now there's no outlet. You're stuck in it. And that's why, like, that whole mental health push really started after the pandemic because a lot of people struggled because they suppressed everything. Yes, I did have some trauma in my childhood, but I got to get up and go to work anyway. So I'm
Hmm.
going to work through it. When you
Right.
stuck at home and you're working from home, you don't have anything else to do but think. So that was something that I wanted to address. Your family, love them from a distance. If they are toxic, if they bring you down, you can still love your mom, but you can love her over there. You can love your sister, but you don't have to give them access when they are bringing you down and messing with your mood and your mental health. Don't. I know it's easier said than done. No is an answer. It's okay to say no. You have to
Hmm.
set boundaries, point blank period, set boundaries and do not allow anyone to cross them. And the sooner you start learning how to say no and you set those boundaries and be firm in them, the better off you will feel, because a lot of people are takers and they will suck you dry, and then you have nothing for yourself. So please just get into therapy, set your boundaries, say no. Meditation music, it sounds corny, but it works. Sit in your room and just meditate and journal and just get it all out, and you'll feel better. You will feel better. Just
I,
do it. Just do
I
it. It
feel what
sounds
you're
so
saying on
corny, it
that.
sounds so cheesy. Just do it, and come back and let me know how you feel in like a
Thank you.
week.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying on that. One of my biggest issues is I've been chasing love for so long that I've been looking in the wrong places. Like as when I tell you, as a little kid, I did not feel like I was loved. I didn't feel like I was wanted. And I've always looked for that love and that acceptance and that a girl from my mother. So even to this day, even though I'm treated way different than my siblings, I'm the baby. I should be the spoiled one, but it seems like I'm the one that holds her down. I'm the one that makes sure she's good, and because I'm looking for that love. I'm looking for her to finally like appreciate me and love
Yeah.
me like she loved them, and they don't treat her like she should be treated. I do, but I was the one that was treated real bad,
But
as
you're
a
the
kid.
one whose mom didn't like your dad, or
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
you? Okay, well then,
yeah,
that's why. So your mom needs to address that.
yeah. But
She's the
she's in
one who laid
denial.
down and conceived you. So it's not your fault.
But she's in denial. I'll tell her certain things about what I remember growing up. I never did that. I'm like, why would I make that up? Like she's in denial
Hmm.
and she gets very upset about it. I'm like, no, but you did do that. Why did you do that? And she doesn't want to address it. You know what I mean? And that's all I have left. My father passed. I only got to know him for 4 years before he passed,
Mm.
and I was only allowed to see him once I moved out of her house, which I did
Oh.
my senior year in high school. I couldn't talk to him on the phone. I couldn't visit him. I couldn't do anything. So I left her house my senior year in high school, moved in with a friend. The first place I went was to my dad's house. My dad looked at me, cried, and he was the first. It was the first time I ever heard any parent tell me that they love me,
Oh.
and that was something. 4 years later, my dad passed away. And it was hard. I had a bunch of siblings on my dad's side. I didn't know. I still
Hmm.
have some that I don't know. But it was at that moment, that as much as he said he was a bad man, I didn't see the bad in him. He was my
Mm.
dad, and he loved me. He literally loved me, and that's what I remember of that man. You can't say a bad thing about him. When she does or begins to, I tell her, you did this. You chose to lay
Right.
down with that. It's not my fault. When you address that side of my family as those people, you laid down with those people and created me.
Hmm.
And I know for a fact she didn't want me. She tried to have me aborted, but upstate and up in New York, there was the blizzard of '77 that kept her
Mm.
from having me aborted. So I know I wasn't wanted, but she didn't have a choice. So
So
that's another thing that kind of weighs on me.
that sounds a lot like my story. My mom had me when she was 20. She did not know that she was pregnant. So by the time she found out that she was pregnant, she was too far along to get an
Hmm.
abortion. My father was a sugar daddy. Let's just say
Hmm.
what it is. He was a sugar daddy. She claimed that the condom broke. Don't know if that's true or not. But I was raised by my grandparents. Because shortly after I was born, she met my stepdad, and I feel like she wanted this picture perfect family where all of her children were by this one man, and now I was the outsider. So I'm knowing that this is my mom, but I'm raised like she's my sister. So I don't call my mom mom. I call her by her name, and I
Oh,
call my grandma mom.
right.
Um, so, and then, like I said before, my grandfather wasn't very affectionate, and I wanted to be a daddy's girl.
Hmm.
I loved men. I'm so grateful that I was never touched inappropriately. But I love men. I love to feel safe. And even now, I'm very clingy. And I tell my friends, like, listen, I got daddy issues. That's a disclaimer. I got issues. Yes, I know him now, but my daddy's 84. I'm 41. So, I don't know how much time I got left with my father. But and I get angry with my mom. Like, he seems like a great guy, and I missed out on all this. I'm his only daughter. Every time
Hmm.
we talk, we see each other, he's crying. He's like, you're my daughter. You're my only daughter. And I look just like him.
Hmm.
it's so I can understand.
Hmm.
It, I, yeah, I understand.
Yep. Let me tell y'all a story real quick, and then I'll let somebody else talk. But this is just an example of some of the things and the mentality of one having a young mom and being the youngest. She had my brother when she was 14, my sister when she was 20, and me when she was around 22. So single mom. Okay, we all have different fathers. It is what it is. But at one point, I think I was about 4 years old, and I was outside playing by myself at 4 years old. Now, 4 years old, and I was playing in this little wooded area, and I found a can of spray paint, and I pushed it, and I said, "Oh, it works." So as a little kid, I'm looking around like, "What can I spray paint?" You know, and the only thing I really knew what to do and how to write was my name, and I wasn't even really good at that. So I looked behind me, in the back of my neighbor's house was like a big canvas. So with this bright orange construction type spray paint, I wrote my name. But I spelled had the D in my name I put backwards because I was a little kid. I didn't know any better. Well, after they caught me and I ran, they thought I was a little boy. At that point, they thought I was a little boy because I remember catch him, and I wasn't him, I was her. So I got away from him. I ran home. I took a bath that night. Mom was like, "Where'd you get that orange paper?" I was like, "Oh, I found it in the woods." I didn't tell her what I did. Well, where we lived down the corner, right down the street, a block away was my grandparents' house. So they lived on one block, we lived on the other. And she was walking to my grandparents' house down the street, and something told her to turn around. She turned around and seen my name on these people's house. So for the longest time, I mean, I got punished for that. I did. Her and her friends would always say, "Oh, I remember when you were little, you spray painted your name on somebody's house." I said I was 4 years old. I said, my question to y'all is, what was I doing at 4 years old unsupervised? Where was my watch? If I had somebody watching me, there's no way I'd have been out there doing that by myself. So who's taking accountability? And they stopped telling that story because as adults, they all sat there and went, huh, you might have a point. I do have a point. Because now I know that if I was out at 4 years old playing in the woods, yeah, something happened to me. But nobody knows it because I was out freestyling at 4 or 5 years old. You know what I mean? And they want to look at the story as it's funny. And I was such a bad little kid. I was an unsupervised little kid. You know, I have a sister 2 years older than me. My brother's 7 years older than me. Where was my supervision? I was 4 years old. Four. I would never. If I seen a 4 year old walking by itself right now, I'd freak out. I was out in the streets freestyling. Come on now, a little girl out there freestyling. Stop it. I mean, but that's just a story that just to kind of give you guys a little synopsis of where I'm coming from. Like that's just one story, but there's multiples. There's multiples, but that's just one story that they continue to want to tell and think is gonna make me feel some type of way until I say, why was I unsupervised? It was a different time back then. No, not really. It really wasn't. There were still predators out there. There were still really bad people out there. It wasn't a different time. So that's just a little story I just wanted to share with y'all.
Man, thank you. Y'all, Shank Rock will be going live in 30 minutes. So, I want to make sure everybody tunes in. Hey, Brett, what it do, sister? And thank y'all so much for the donations. I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Hi everyone. Hi ladies.
Hey, Brett.
Salute.
So I just wanted to talk about my mental health really quick because it's not actually talked about um often. A lot of people sweep it under the rug. As far as me, when I was growing up and everything, I had a very regular life, if you know what I'm saying. Both parents married for over 40 years. It was a regular life, nothing extra. So coming into adulthood, my issue was that I didn't think I had a problem. And that became a problem. That was the problem, is that I didn't think I had any problems. So I was emotionally detached from reality.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
You do. You do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on now because I'm gonna give you like an example. Everything, the world can be completely burning down to the ground and I won't give a damn. Because I feel like Ain't my problem. So it's like I'm emotionally detached. So that
Mhm.
has become an issue that, I'm working on now. And it's like some people think that it's good to say, I don't care. I don't care. That's how I really was going about every day, just not giving a damn about nothing if it didn't affect me. I didn't, even when I did have an issue, it wasn't an issue because I would just say, oh, well, it happened. And I would just keep on going with my regular day. Not a care in the world. Everything is just moving by. And I didn't know how to regulate and tap into my emotions. So therefore, it sets you back. It makes
Mm.
you really become, like a bee for real. Because I didn't give a damn about nothing. Anything that was happening, it was like, oh, well. But now I'm working on it to learn more about my emotions and learn how to tap into my emotions. But I never wanted to be like disappointed, so I never expected much of anyone. And that's also an issue that we don't talk about enough. So yeah, that's basically, what I'm working on now as far as becoming a better human. Cause I promise phew, I was
Yeah.
terrible. I didn't give a damn about nothing if it didn't affect me or my family.
And I feel it because I think one of my sisters was like that. You know what I'm saying? She really, and I'm glad you said that. Because it sheds a little light um on my sister. She didn't give a damn if it ain't about us. She just really don't give a damn. She's really even now where she's had children. If it ain't about them, she don't give a damn. Win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Not even about
And
us.
that's exactly how I am now. Now, if it's not about me or my daughter, I don't give a damn but I had to learn, like, you have to be able to tap into your emotions and decipher different things and understand that it's not just you on this earth alone, you know?
Yeah. Britt, if I do another one of these because I think I want to come back on Wednesday, and I want you to come back and kind of talk more about that because I feel like I want you to share what you're doing to work on it and more. And also I see some other people in the chat that I would love to get a chance to come up here and hear from too. But that sounds so familiar, and I want to try to get this push for more people to come and be able to feel comfortable and talk, especially something like that because I got a sister like that. So I understand. Thank you. I understand that exactly what you're saying and stuff. And now that you say you're working on it, it's like, damn, that sound like sis. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, just be.
Yeah. And you don't even realize it makes you become a person, a unlikable person. It makes people don't want to be around you because I didn't even know my very best friend of over 20 years, she was going through, and I didn't even know how to console her, to be a good friend because her problem ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know you have to be able to, I didn't know how to be a good person to my very best friend of over 20 years because her problem wasn't my problem. And that's how and I don't even know how I got like this. It may be something, I don't know if it has to do with, I'm an only
Thank you.
child. I don't know if that have anything to do with it.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if it has to do with, I don't know where it came from. But it was like I didn't have to really share when I was growing up or anything like that. I have no idea. But it's just like I'm so emotionally detached. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have that problem and they don't think it's a problem because it don't come from, trauma. I've never had a rough childhood. I didn't have those things. So I'm thinking everything is fine. But no, that's an issue. I really don't give a damn. And
Mm.
that's a problem.
Rosie said you acknowledge it, so that's huge.
Yeah, I've been working on it and I've seen a therapist about it because it was bothering me. I'm like, damn, I was just numb. It's like nothing bothered me with anything.
What up, Sister D?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, what it do, sister?
Can you hear me? It good, good. Look, I said I was gonna come up here and I said I was gonna come up here and speak about what went on with my sister and why I went through the mental issues I went through. It sounds like I got an echo. Do you hear echo?
No, I don't hear it.
You don't hear it? Okay. So, my sister was, um, she was, okay. So my sister, she had sickle cell, right? And so, like her and I, we would help everybody, everybody we could, we would help, right? So she helped one of my son's girlfriends. She was walking one night, 12 midnight with her baby,
Uh-huh.
right? And so it was raining. Um, it's lagging on my side. I don't know why. Um, I'm trying to see why it's lagging. So she walking late night. My sister picked her up and said, "Hey, you can spend the night with me tonight. It'll be okay. And then we'll figure it out the next morning." Well, anyway, I didn't know that my sister picked this girl up. She continued to stay with my sister. Um, so I'm trying to make a long story short. So throughout the week, she continued to stay with my sister. Then this girl brought another friend there to stay with my sister. Okay. So my sister, being who she is, let this girl stay with her friend. Okay. So wherever they took the baby to, the girl took the baby and dropped her off. So they all staying at my sister's house. And so my sister don't have any kids, mind you. So me and my sister 6 years apart. I took care of my sister from the day she was born up until this happened. So anyway, leading up to the day she was unalived by her frenemies, um, they tried to get her to go to a party that night, right? And they drugged her. They made daiquiris. They they made daiquiris and they loaded it with, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they different types of pain medication. They loaded it with, right? And they did that because they wanted her prescriptions, and that's why they kept hanging around. And so they once they did that, they took her to the party. And once she got into the party, she told them that she felt sick. She passed out at the party, and she said, but before she passed out, she said, I'm sick. I'm not feeling good." So we getting this from a witness. And when she goes into the bathroom, one of the girls went behind her and hit her in her head. And we think that she was already deceased, um, you know, at the party, in the bathroom, when she was hitting her head. So they took her, put her in her car, and drove her back to her house. And there was a witness sitting outside that night, and they seen them putting her in her car, and they drove off with her. And they put her in, they took her home, laid her out, called my mother, and they told my mother that she was sick and that they had found her unresponsive, right? So my mother was just thinking that, oh, she was sick because of her sickle cell, not because of them, doing what they did to her. So instead of them calling 911, they called my mom. So my mom like, why are y'all calling 911? So, my mom called 911. They get to the hospital. My mother thinking she going to the hospital to see her daughter, which is, sick, with her sickle cell.
You and I, D.
I mean, like, no more. She's not alive anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm 45, close. When I mean close, we thicker than thieves, even though we 6 years apart. We talk every day, all day. But my sister kept this from me about the girl staying with her. And I asked my mom, like, why she didn't tell me this? Because she would come up to my house or I would come to her house. But when I came to her house, she would always meet me at my mother's house, right? So my mom asked me, like, she didn't tell you. I'm like, no, why didn't she tell me? Mom said the reason why she didn't tell you that is because you would have cleaned her mother effing house. Because I did it before. She said you would have cleaned her house. You would have got them up out of there.
Mm, mm, mm. Sister, you going in and out?
Because she would always call me if she was scared. You know, I feel like she tried to call me. I feel like, were you scared? Was she scared? Was she, you know, did she scream out for help? Like, what do you, I mean, like, I don't even know how to feel. You know what I'm saying? And for a long, for the last like 3-4 years, I'm telling you, Miss Parker, I just moved back. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the last few years, I drove around with a 4.5. I'm not saying it on YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. In under my leg every time I came to Tennessee to visit my mom. Because if I seen them girls, I was you know what? That was my mindset. You know what I'm saying? My mindset was gone. Because I was just in that was my mindset. My mindset was just like, I was out for revenge. You know what I'm saying? Because they took away the only person that I love besides my 2 kids. You know what I mean? And so my mental health was gone. When I mean gone, I was angry. I was like, I didn't want to hear nothing nobody had to say. It was just like, I wouldn't even go. I'm in a small town in Tennessee now. And so I moved back because we've been on the road. My husband works, he's OSHA, so we travel a lot. I'm out of the state maybe 3 or 4 times a month. I'm gone. But I needed a home place again because we sold our house and we left. So we needed a home place. But it took me a long time to get back here to this point where I could step back into this town and just feel like free to walk around. I had to talk to somebody because if I didn't, I felt like I was going to hurt somebody or either somebody was going to hurt me. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I had to. I mean, you just don't know, Miss Parker. Y'all, you know what? When I found your group, it was like I was able to like let go, even though I am seeing a therapist, but still, I feel like I found my sisters again. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because it's hard for me to trust. It is. Y'all just don't know how hard it is for me to trust for real. I don't trust anybody. I won't let nobody in. I mean, I might joke a lot on here, but I think that's just my coping mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Like not to let people in. You know what I'm saying? But I help where I can. I help people when I can, but it's hard for me to let people back into my home like I used to do because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what it was. Yeah, when I tell you, when I got to that hospital and my mother called me and said that Nikki, when I got that phone call, my mom said, Vonda, Nikki is dead. The pain that shot over me. And when I pulled up at the hospital and seen them girls drive off in my sister's car, and at that point, we didn't know what happened. At that point, we had no clue what had happened at all. We had no clue until we got home. And let me tell you this, and I'm gonna let you go. When I got home, that's when all her real friends started calling. And they started saying, look, your sister didn't just die. They unalived your sister. I'm like, what? They unalived your sister. So I said, hey, wait a minute, hold on. Would you tell my mother this on speaker? And they were like, yeah, I'll meet you at the police department. So they met us at the police department. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, they came in. I'm telling you, they came in with guns blazing, everything. Do you know they started stealing out her house? They was calling me. They was like, get to your sister's house. They stealing out her house. I got there. Her truck was loaded up. It was a mess. It's a whole lot to it. I just go on. It was a lot. but we had to call the funeral home. Do you know how hard it is to call a funeral home and tell them to turn around? Because the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation needs you to take her body to get an autopsy. And it wasn't sickle cell, that y'all got to do an autopsy because we got to find out how my sister died.
Mm.
Just think about the mental thing that play in your head. You know what I'm saying? That play in your head from day to day when you think about that type of stuff.
And that's true too. D, will
You
you be
know?
able to come back up here on Wednesday with me?
Yep. Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Y'all, we a sisterhood over here. Miss T. She's been down there trying to help y'all. I want us to acknowledge everybody, those that can and stuff that is not going through this. But Miss TT and our sister Juanita was down there, and you could tell that they really need us as well. My sister D up here needs us, and we need each other right now. You know, this world is so crazy, it's so nasty. I'll set this back up for part 2 and stuff for us, and hopefully everybody Have You Seen Us podcast is gonna pull back up. Sorry I ran out of time, D. I'm so sorry because I hate to cut
No,
these.
that's okay. That is okay.
But Shank is going live in less than 10 minutes, and
Yep.
I appreciate each and every one of y'all. D, you know you got my number. We already talked
Yes.
earlier. So
Yeah.
call me anytime. I'm here for you, and I'll see you up here with me
Yep.
on Wednesday. Anybody else can pull up on Wednesday. This platform is for all of us. So salute. Okay, sister, period. So you can come up to Olivia on Wednesday. Everybody can come up. So I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all, man, for helping me reach my goal.
Thank you.
I love each and every one of y'all. I will see y'all in Shank Rocks. Brittany, I would love to see you back up here with me, sister, on Wednesday. Talk with Prince. All my sisters that came up tonight, come back on Wednesday and stuff. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I love you, D. Call me.
Love you.
Guys
Love
at
you
Shank
guys.
Rocks, okay? All right. Love you too, sister. Let me go out with my banger. Hold on, sister. I'm putting a little band of fuzz. And then I'm going to go in here and close out with our song because Shank Rock is great. Come in here and get started.
Miss Parker, the YouTube star, lighting up the screen, you know who you are, bringing news you can use and a laugh or two. She's got the facts, the fun, and the realest view, with a voice so smooth and a smile so bright. She's shining like a beacon in the darkest night. Deep dives on the stories that really matter. She's breaking it down, cutting through the chatter. Pop in, stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone, with a heart so big and an attitude strong. Miss Parker's where you know you belong. She's an advocate, a friend, a voice for the unheard.